God, it's Wednesday, and I'm finally prepared for the start of the week.
Nice.
You know, I watched the second episode of Winning Time last night.
So did I.
Because we vowed that we would watch episodes 1 and 2 and we'd get caught up by Wednesday's show.
It's getting into an interesting period in Laker history.
It is.
Very interesting period. A bit of a spoiler. When Travis asked us, do you like Magic? The question of do you like Magic is actually a big part of where they are right now in Winning Time.
Yeah. And I think this is this era that I don't remember very well because I was 1. Right. I was 1. So there's like 1980 and but they're clearly teeing up for them to trade for Byron Scott. Like there's I don't think I remember. My dad always used to talk about Stormin' Norman Nixon.
Oh, okay.
And that was like I was like, oh yeah, Norm Nixon. Yeah, okay. But like I didn't know he was the dynamic with him and Magic was this intense.
Well, there's the dynamic with Norm Nixon, Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne in for the guys. There's the dynamic between Nixon and Magic, which was really interesting because you have these two high-level guys at the same position. One of them was really good. I want to get into that in a second, but the other one's Magic, arguably the greatest. I don't even think it's arguably. He is the greatest point guard in NBA history. But like Brian and I, when we worked for The Athletic, we did a piece together where we talked about if the Lakers had a Ring of Honor. You know, because the way they do it, they have so many all-time greats, they don't need a Ring of Honor. They just, if you're in the Hall of Fame, you get your jersey retired. But if they did a Ring of Honor that a lot of other franchises would do, who would get in? Like that next tier of Laker player. And as I was doing research, I looked up Norm Nixon because he seemed like somebody that you would at least consider for this. Not only is Nixon no-brainer, he's in, his numbers are way better than I think most people either remember or even realize. And on top of it, his playoff numbers are actually better than his regular season numbers. Norm Nixon was really, really good.
Yeah, and it was interesting. They had Paul Westphal, basically Westhead. I always get them wrong.
So do I.
They had Paul Westhead like blocking this trade for David Thompson, which I don't remember. I don't remember hearing that.
It's also weird, too, the idea that the coach gets the final say.
Yeah, right? That would never happen today.
Like, especially when your GM is Jerry West. Like, the idea that the coach would overrule Jerry West.
Yeah, and it was also like, I thought it was interesting, the reporters in the show, and they kind of I don't know who that reporter was in real life. Like, who do you think that was?
Could have been like a Heisler. Could have been like a Mark
Heisler. Or Scott Howard Cooper, maybe. Somebody like of that era. Anyway, they were like on the team plane, and there was just like all this really sensitive stuff that happens on the team plane where they're in the section of the plane where the players are.
Well, that's like Babe Ruth during that period. Like all those reporters would travel with the Yankees and like Babe Ruth on the train from New York to Boston or New York to Pittsburgh or wherever. And it's truly amazing that some of the stuff about Babe Ruth didn't get out to kind of, tamper the legend. Because I'm sure those reporters saw a lot of things that could have made you think differently about Babe Ruth.
I'll tell you this: we I've traveled with teams before where you're following a team on the road. We don't fly on the same planes, right?
No.
And then the only time I've ever been in a situation, kind of, sort of like that, was when we first got to ESPN LA. You and me, Andy.
Yeah.
I went with the Dodgers to Taiwan. And I went with them, and we flew. They chartered a big giant. I think it was Cathay Pacific or something, or Iwa Air, something like that. And it was, the players and the coaches were all up front. Like, we definitely did not have the same seats as them. They were all in the first class seats, and we were all in the coach seats back there. But I do remember getting my own row, so that was kind of nice. And they gave us food. That was my first experience, like getting like the nice food on the airplane. Okay,
what's the nice food on a plane like that?
Like the first class food, like a whole menu. It's like a 3-course menu.
Ooh.
I took pictures of it. I'll show it to you. And I remember like it was cool. But when we would go to the games, we actually rode the team bus. And I remember like there was like probably 10 reporters on this trip. So it was like me, Ken Gurnick. Remember Ken Gurnick from MLB.com, and a couple other. I think was Dylan there from the Times. Dylan Hernandez, maybe. I'm trying to remember everybody who was on this trip.
Dylan speaks like every language, so it's really useful to have him.
Except not Taiwanese. He spoke Japanese.
You give Dylan a week, he'll figure it out.
He will. Anyway, So we were on the team bus, and I started to like learn the rule. Like it was weird writing the. I'm like, whoa, there's Joe Torre right there. Like I've never. This is like totally different. Okay, but the best part was my assignment was to write a feature about Manny Ramirez. Because this was the Manny year,
right.
and this is like
this is his first full season,
yeah.
I think, with the Dodgers.
Yeah, and I was like gonna follow him around, and I was gonna go to every event that Manny was there, and I was gonna get seen and background and some fun things. So I remember he went out and he had shark fin soup, and he had something else like anything that was cultural in Taiwan to go do. They had Manny go do. They went to a batting cage with the local kids, just events, and one of the things we did was we took a train from Taipei to Kaohsiung, right? It was a bullet train. We were on the same train as them. And I go, this is my moment. He cannot get away from me because he did not want to talk to anybody. And I was like, this is my moment. I am going to just run up to Manny Ramirez on the train and just make him talk to me. And I did, and he didn't really talk to me, but he said enough,
right.
And I didn't have but it was like the first time that I was like, oh, this must have been so much different when reporters could do that. When you basically had them cornered, and like the players that you covered had to talk to you because you were right in their space, and they wouldn't hide in the different locker room or on the private jet
also
or whatever
back
it was.
then they needed media much more, like traditional media.
Yeah,
they needed it more then than they do now. Like a lot of the reason I think players find media invasive and stuff like that, beyond the fact that it is to some degree invasive, is also they're probably thinking, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Like I do not need you to do your game recap story. I can just put out whatever I want through either my own media empire, my own Instagram feed,
social
my own
channels,
Twitter, like whatever. Like if anything, me talking to you, all this does is give you words that in their mind you're going to twist. Or you're just going to be, your media job is just criticizing me or crushing me in some way that I don't agree with, but I don't need you at all.
Yeah. I mean, it was very interesting watching that episode, too, because there's a reporter there that basically gets Norm Nixon to pop off about being frustrated. Like Magic Johnson had been out for most of the year with a knee injury. Norm had played great. They played what is a very fun title, like The System. It's just like Paul Wassed's System. He didn't give it a name.
He just called it The System.
And they played that, and they played really well, and Norm had great numbers. And when Magic came back, he came off the bench, and it was like he wasn't Magic, and blah, blah, blah. So Norm kind of expressed frustration to this reporter who was just walking through the halls, and then there was a scene on the team plane where the guy hears everything, and you're like, wow, this is a totally different media environment. But I guess back then, like, Norm couldn't just, like, subtweet somebody. He couldn't just like Joel Embiid the other day, like took off every reference to the Sixers in Philadelphia on his Twitter bio, and everybody's flipping out. I've done
Joel Embiid. Yeah,
like I did 5 interviews about him changing his most social media profile. Like I don't know, you guys. I think you're going a little far with this.
Yeah. In the meantime, too, though, just this dynamic of Magic coming back, and it feels like it's invasive and disruptive for what was going on with the team at that moment. They managed to win games without Magic, and Magic was this outside personality who, at the time, was already having some tension with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and, the whose team is it type thing. And then Norm Nixon, who, again, if Norm Nixon is on any team in the league that doesn't have Magic Johnson on it, you're like, you're not trading this guy.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. So just, it's always interesting to see, you and I have covered teams with star players, and you sometimes see those tensions. Just, it is not easy for super talented people who've always been used to being the alpha on their team, like being the sun that everything revolves around. It's human nature to expect that to stay and to, get maybe sometimes too territorial about your space.
Yeah. And there was also, there was some interesting dynamics, I thought, in the that they brought up. We're getting a lot deeper treatment of Jeannie Buss and Jim Buss and Johnny Buss in this series, in this season of it.
These 2 episodes are not going to win Jerry Buss Father of the Year.
No. I mean, it was kind of hard to watch the way he treated the 2 sons.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard to watch that. I was...
Well,
but also kind of makes Jeannie look like a genius. Look, like from the jump.
Yeah, and look, Jeannie.
I mean, she was talking about like debt financing in the Reagan era.
Yeah,
I don't know. She was 19. You really think so?
This is probably my biggest. It's probably my biggest complaint with Winning Time. Like, there are certain things that are changed, given like
Yeah.
dramatic license. And to me, taking the dramatic license isn't as important as why are you doing it. It's not what are you changing, it's why are you changing it. And they've done this thing in Winning Time where they've made Jeannie Buss, like in the first season, she's still in high school.
Yeah.
Like basically this wunderkind in the office coming up with all these different ideas that we know didn't happen. And I don't think it's necessary because, A, Jeannie eventually went on to have a really successful, impressive career in her own right that you could just spell that career out and it gives her just as much justice. But also, I think it takes away from what Claire Rothman did for the organization. Like, I think she's a really interesting character that doesn't get as much. I don't
know. I thought Claire got some pretty good shine there. I just think those ideas didn't, like, the idea that Jeannie did the Laker girls or all this other stuff. Like, she wasn't even really working there yet.
But that's my point, though.
It's just like she did come up with a lot. She did run the LA Strings of the tennis team.
Oh, absolutely.
Johnny did run the Lasers, the soccer team. Jim did the horse racing and all that. That was all true. It just happened later. So I'm actually okay with moving things up in time, like pretending that this all happened in 1980, even though it was probably like 83, 84, or whatever.
But it's not believable. Like, it's not believable because we know it didn't happen with Jeannie, but it's also not believable because it's just simply not believable.
Yeah. Although my issue, I don't mind them giving Jeannie things that happen out of order, like a little too soon. There's some uncomfortable scenes, man. Like when Jerry Buss was going through his book, like
his book of
very
ladies,
famously Jerry Buss apparently had a book of ladies that he'd been with, and like I guess when he gets down,
it's a very big book.
Yeah, it's comprehensive.
Yes. And
each one is like a photo and a memory and a, whatever. And he's like flipping through this thing, like, to cheer himself up after he has this argument with his two sons. And
as one does, they go through their book.
Yeah. And then Jeannie comes and sits right down next to him. And I was like, oh, God, this is like uncomfortable. Like, yeah. I was like, I don't think that happened. I mean, I think she knew about the book, but I don't think she was in that place.
I'd like to think it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's if that happened, that's like traumatizing for Jeannie.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things.
Ugh. That was a hard scene to watch. That whole scene was hard to watch.
It's bad enough just to think about your parents just having sex, period.
Yeah.
But like the idea of, and here's the laundry list of the ladies my father was with, like, that's just too much. I don't. It's like seeing your teachers out in public. Yes. Is that my Spanish teacher over there at the market? Like I remember when I was.
You have a first name?
When I was in like 8th or 9th grade, I saw the principal of my school at a concert in the bathroom smoking a cigarette.
Oh,
and he saw me and he just shrank. He was like, "You are not supposed to see this." I'm like, "But I did. I did."
And then at that point, what do you do? Like, you can't. Now, this is a big issue now with teachers, I know, because do you have like your social media profiles? All your students want to be friends with you? Mm-hmm. And you're like, no. So they all have different names, like they put their middle name instead of their last name. You can't find them. But then if they find you, then you accept them or not accept. I don't know. It's like,
look, there's a lot of people I know in our industry who it's typically women on social, like for Facebook, they will not have their professional name. Mm-hmm. They will have their married name or maiden name, whatever, just because they don't want randos trying to friend them or DM them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. Like, that could just turn into the Wild West. Okay, we're talking about the Lakers and teams with egos. The Dodgers seem like a very ego-free team, and they are rolling right now. Last night was no exception. Get into that coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne in for the guys. 710 ESPN.
twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Based in Ireland, the number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
That's my girl.
65 years young, Madonna.
65.
65.
For Louise.
Okay, we did. I was on Travis and Slee a couple weeks ago, I think in for Travis. And we did.
Damn, that makes me feel old that she's 65.
I know. Well, we did a draft of female artists.
Yeah.
Like female singers, and it needed to be specifically ones that were like solo artists as opposed to front women for a band. And I had Madonna as my second overall pick in the snake draft. Like,
people lost their mind, right?
You know what? I came in second. Emily's draft overall won. She had Beyonce and her. My three, and I will stand by my three. Aretha Franklin was my first round. I think you could take her number one overall. Then Madonna, and then Janet Jackson. I think that's pretty strong.
That's really good. That's solid.
That's
also
strong.
our era.
Yeah, but okay. Here's part of it because
also you and I are in our 40s.
Right. Well.
Oh, you're not anymore. Okay, you can still claim it.
I still remember my 40s.
Yeah,
but okay, like Ireland was losing his mind when he heard about things. Like, I can't believe nobody chose Adele. Am I nuts? You have to take Adele. My thing with Adele was she's great. I really like her. I don't think she's done it long.
It's been
enough.
out for like 5 years.
Right. She only has, I think, like 4 albums though. Yeah. Something like that. Like she's great.
Yeah.
But I feel like part of choosing this is
also
influence.
this is going to sound like such a jerk. She's pretty one note, Adele. Right? It's a great note. It's an amazing note. Like no one else in the world has ever sung it that well.
But one note.
Does she have any fast songs?
Right. So I mean, they're all like
just
ballads.
slow ballads, right?
I mean, I would say Madonna is like Taylor Swift is probably the Madonna of this era. She's not quite as sexually risque as Madonna was, or culturally risque, but she has changed styles a lot. She changes genres. Like Taylor's gone from country to pop to rock to folk to all over the and also I think her lyrics connect with this generation of very like
she's a great lyricist.
Yeah,
Taylor Swift.
Anxiety, self-conscious ridden, young women, and Madonna was a sort of sexual awakening type.
I feel like
artist.
If you combined the genre shifting of Taylor Swift with the boldness and that owning of sexuality and just the overall performance of Beyonce, I feel like that's where you have Madonna. Like it's sort of they meet in the middle of that Venn diagram.
Maybe.
But you can't overstate how big Madonna was. I mean, she was massive.
Yeah, massive.
Controversial. Remember the Sex Book?
Oh yeah. In the movie, the documentary, and even every one of her videos was shocking, and she was very like maybe Gaga is more like Madonna.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Gaga actually, and I think Gaga has talked about the influence Madonna had.
Yeah.
On her. If you're there's a podcast I listen to. It's really good. It's about the history of 20th century Hollywood. It's called You Must Remember This.
Okay,
and they just did a series on sex in the movies in the 90s. And they did an episode on that movie, Body of Evidence. Remember Madonna's movie with Willem Dafoe?
That was a big one.
Yeah, it's like
I remember that one.
Basic Instinct knockoff.
Yeah.
But it got a lot into just Madonna's whole career and just all of the different taboos that she was willing to touch. And people lost their minds.
Yeah.
Lost their minds over it. So happy 65th.
Wow, 65.
I know.
Dude, we old.
We so old.
Like I think kids like now like probably they don't really know Madonna.
Well, I mean,
like are we old enough to where we've aged out where like her music is like on K Earth?
Well, it's definitely on K Earth. Dude, stuff from the 90s and maybe even the early 2000s is on K Earth.
Yes.
Like think about it. Like something that came out in 2003 is 20 years old. That's K Earth.
That's rough.
It is really
rough. I heard her Santana song "Smooth" on K Earth.
Oh
yeah.
God, I hope that's not what like the kids think of Santana. I really hope not. All right, be sure to join 710 for our summer tradition at Hollywood Park Casino, the ultimate fantasy football draft party. This Friday, starting at 4 p.m. at HPC, join Beto Duran, Kirk Morrison, DeMarco Farr, Marcus Grant, producer Lindsay Baseball, corporate Greg, and Chris Morales live for a party-o-party. Party-party-o-party.
What is that he always does? He always party-o-party.
Party-party-o-party.
Where's that from?
Party. I believe it's a Morales-ism.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I believe he made it up. This Friday at 4 p.m. at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino, eat, drink, draft. Dodgers, right now, are crushing it.
Yeah, and they got Clayton Kershaw going tonight.
They got Kershaw going tonight at Milwaukee. They beat the Brewers last night 6-2. Bobby Miller.
I don't think it's at Milwaukee. I think it's against.
Against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Travis went to the game.
Travis did go to the game.
That would have been a hell of a trip.
He's not that big of a baller.
No.
That he'd go back and forth. But they are. Remember, it wasn't that long ago where they were in third, I think, in the NL
Yeah,
West?
and we were like, oh, the Diamondbacks are so good.
They are. It just feels like it doesn't matter what Dodgers team it is, they're going to win the NL West.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing with the Dodgers is that they've had some good young, initially they had good young players like James Outman, couldn't get him out. He was great at the beginning of the year. Then he really went into a slide, and he's figured it out. He's come back. He's playing Gold Glove center field. He's hitting the ball. Bobby Miller showed up, did well, then didn't do well. Now he's doing good again. Like, they have young players who have adjusted. They've held down the fort while a lot of their guys have been injured or out of the lineup or not performing very well in the case of Urias. And the additions came in and gave him a little jump start. And I think this is the season where I actually appreciate guys like Freddie Friedman and Mookie Betts more, guys who play every day. They just they're out there. This idea, Mookie Betts like moving around, playing shortstop, wherever they need him. Like, it's just, that's very uncommon in baseball, especially in this era, for somebody to play every single game and be willing to move positions the way that Mookie has.
When you're not a utility player.
Yeah.
Like, he's not Jose Oquendo. He's not Chris Taylor. Like,
Yeah.
one of those guys that you're in the league specifically, not because you're outstanding at any one thing, but you can do a whole bunch of different stuff well enough. Mookie Betts is an MVP level player is he the best athlete in the league?
Might be.
He might be the best athlete in baseball right now, because that is not easy to play the infield, different parts of the infield and the outfield with that arm at that level. Like, he's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. Like, if his arm in right wasn't so great and such a weapon, I'd argue the Dodgers just move him to shortstop and just solve their shortstop problem, like, permanently, except his arm is so good and right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's I like this is where having those two guys as your bedrock, the guys steady Freddie, right? He's there every single game, every single show, every single day. Last year we were like, oh, he should take some time off. He should pace him. No, it's actually really good that he doesn't. And this team, I feel like that because they had to fight. Like, last year it was almost too easy for them because they've had to fight and get through this and figure it all out. They should be the favorites again. I mean, Atlanta's going to have the best record, but I think the Dodgers should be right there with the Braves going into the playoffs, even though, the same question remains. Do they have enough pitching? Do they have enough frontline pitching?
There was a part of me, maybe even just at the end of July, beginning of August, where I had been wondering, like, okay, they've been having an incredible season, but is this really a sum that's greater than its parts? And at some point, water seeks its own level. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. It's starting to feel like this team is just better than we expected. And we just underestimated them because they didn't have the typical star power that we're used to with the Dodgers. And nobody thought they were going to be bad.
Yeah.
But this was heading into the season. This was being talked about as the rare year the Dodgers don't win the NL West. I'm just starting to think they're really good.
So I'm into gardening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like a pandemic gardener. I get into this. And I've started learning about first you get a seed, and then you score the seed and it sprouts, and you put it in a little pot. And then each time it gets big enough and you see the roots come through to the bottom of the pot, you put it in a bigger pot, right? And it's like, I think it's such a good way of looking at what these are young kids, and they're players who are sort of undervalued, and they just needed a bigger pot to be in. Right? Just needed a bigger pot to grow in. Like, that's sometimes what happens when you play with superstars. And I think when you look at even just guys like Kike Hernandez, like, he was good in Boston, but he's just really good here. just really fits with exactly what they need him to be. Outman, because they gave him a little room to grow and to figure it out and some space. And,
He's ready for a bigger pot.
Yeah. You like my analogy?
I do like that. Actually, I do like it.
You know, it's time to change it. The way you know it's time to put it in a bigger pot is when the roots grow all the way through to the bottom and you see them start going to the. That means it's outgrown its
James
pot.
Outman's roots are growing. All right.
There you go.
There's a question, too, that I want to get into regarding Andrew Friedman that was raised by, I believe it's Bob Nightingale from USA Today.
Yes, sir.
About Andrew Friedman at the deadline. But coming up next, Wheel of Questions. And spin the wheel and surprise ourselves. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne in for the guys, 710 ESPN.
Afternoons on 710.
Okay, this is an interesting question. So the AV Club, you know, the website, Pop Culture, they did a list of the 38 funniest movie performances of the 21st century.
Okay.
I think it was...
Give me a few names.
Well, it was inspired by Ryan Gosling's performance as Ken.
He was good, yeah.
He's extremely funny.
Yeah.
This was their top 10
All right.
of the 21st century comedic performances in movies. Number 10, Sacha Baron Cohen in Borat.
Oh,
Hilarious.
yes.
Number 9, Steve Carell, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I think Borat should be higher, but okay, go ahead.
Number 8, Ben Stiller in Dodgeball. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 7, I don't like this one at all. John Hader in Napoleon Dynamite.
No.
No. I never got that movie. Number 6,
Me
Will
neither.
Ferrell and Ron Burgundy. He's very funny.
Yeah, he's funny, but I still would put Borat ahead.
I would too. I would also put Steve Carell ahead of him.
Yeah.
Number 5, Eddie Murphy in Shrek 2.
Eh.
Yeah, Shrek. He's really funny in Shrek 1. Shrek 2 is not as good.
Still.
Number 4, I love this one. Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa.
Yeah, he was good.
That's a great
He
one.
is
really
so
good. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so funny. Number 3, Jack Black, School of Rock.
Okay.
I think he's
Jack
really good.
Black.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's what I
Over
have.
You know
Borat?
what? Brian Cohen. A little Jack Black going on over there.
I can see that. Yeah.
The look.
Number
Okay.
2.
I'll take that.
Better than Ringo.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Number 2, Owen Wilson and Zoolander. Too high.
Way too
Way
high.
too high.
Too high.
Way too high.
And number 1, Reese Witherspoon, Legally Blonde.
Okay, I love that movie. I've seen it probably 15 times. I laugh every time it hurts.
It's a good
She's really
movie.
good.
It holds up. She's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's had staying power. So
Yeah.
2-part question for you.
I don't know if it's the funniest ever, though.
Okay.
Okay, there's one very glaring omission here to me.
Well, for the top 10, they might be somewhere in the 38.
Where is Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids?
She's on the list.
Oh, yeah, that's a
She
good
is
one.
on the list.
I don't think I've,
Yeah.
you guys, I don't think I've ever laughed harder and
She's 19.
borderline had embarrassing things happen in a movie watching that one.
She is number 19
Come on,
the list.
That's got to be
gotta
way
be
higher.
Yeah.
One of my favorites actually is Billy Bob. Billy Bob Thornton might be my favorite of the 21st century. He is so funny and so wrong.
on brand. That's on
so
brand.
wrong in Bad Santa. I actually, also a little bit of sentimental, I interviewed him for that for our old podcast at 710. Ryan Gosling in The Nice Guys is on the list. That movie is fantastic, and he's hilarious. Another one that made the list, and it's one of my favorite, no surprise to people who listen regularly, Jason Statham in Spy. He is so funny.
Yeah, he is really funny in that movie.
I don't think I saw that movie.
Oh, it's actually Melissa McCarthy.
Okay.
It's actually my favorite role of hers. She's really funny.
There's got to be some Amy Schumer there somewhere.
She hasn't really done that many movies, though. She actually really hasn't.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
You know, she did the one with LeBron and Will Hader.
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck. That was good.
Yeah.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. Excuse me, not Will Hader. Bill Hader. And she did the other one with Goldie Hawn. She hasn't really done that many.
Yeah, her shows are good, though. Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaid and Tina Fey. I mean,
Yeah. Tina Fey. Tina Fey, actually, Date Night is really funny.
yeah.
That's a really good movie. Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover.
I will say, I'm glad they put
That's
Reese
a
there.
good
I
one.
don't think she should be number one, but that is a really good movie that holds up, and it's she's so funny because she's smart enough to play dumb, right?
It's not easy.
Yeah,
It's
not easy to play as dumb as she does because she's not actually dumb.
No,
Like,
she's not dumb in real life.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, actually, that I think makes Ryan Gosling underrated and good at comedy. He plays dumb really well.
Yeah.
Like Will Ferrell plays dumb well. It's not easy to play.
Where's Kate McKinnon on this list?
Kate McKinnon is nowhere on the list, but she also has not done a ton
I know
of
they should have
movies.
found a way to shoehorn her into something. Come on, this list is not so good, Andy. Where's your question here? Where's the wheel?
Well, I did. I said, what do you think of Reese
The list?
Witherspoon
Okay.
as number one? And are there other performances?
Oh, okay.
And you've actually answered both without
Yeah.
even.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I do like the idea also too with Reese Witherspoon as number one because I think female actresses don't often get enough shine for comedy.
Yeah.
So I like her being at number one there, and it's a really, really
Okay.
good performance. We were talking about the Dodgers before, and Bob Nightingale raised the question of whether or not Andrew Friedman was a genius for not going big at the deadline. Quote, they let all-star third baseman Justin Turner walk, former MVP Cody Bellinger too, bowed out of the bidding to keep all-star shortstop Trey Turner from going to Philadelphia. They instead just spent $44.5 million grabbing veterans off the scrap heap, Hayward, Peralta, Martinez, Syndergaard. That one was not genius.
Hey, 3 out of 4 is not bad.
3 out of 4 is not bad. I mean, it's the equivalent of veterans minimum guys in the NBA. 3 out of 4
Yeah.
hit, you're doing great. Do you think there have been a lot of questions at the deadline about whether or not Andrew Friedman went big enough, whether it spoke to any either lack of faith with this team or is he thinking too much about Ohtani in the offseason? In retrospect, do you think he wasn't getting enough credit?
Oh, of course. I mean, look, because so much of baseball is about winning the press conference and making big splashy moves, and like I did so many shows where Mason was losing his mind that we didn't get Xander Bogaerts. Like, I mean, I was like, Mace, come on, like. It's not about Dansby Swanson or Xander Bogaerts or like whoever the big free agents of the year are. Like, very rarely do free agent signings change anyone's fortunes. Very rarely. Shohei Ohtani, that he's going to change somebody's fortunes. Okay, but very rarely is what's Trey Turner done this year? Nice solid year.
He's been good.
It's been good.
He's been good.
Does it mean they're going to win?
I mean, I'll tell you where I think they messed up though. they should have just paid Corey Seager and kept him. Corey Seager's been really
for Texas. Yeah,
he's been.
That's probably true.
and they've had a revolving door at shortstop.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think they were also worried about the long-term health because he had a lot of shoulder stuff.
No, I get it.
And we'll see how that holds up, okay?
We'll see how it holds up.
When Andrew Friedman first got the job, I remember going to Arizona in spring training and doing a story about the new guy and the new regime, and it was like him and Farhan Zaidi and Josh Burns and all the new brain trust that they had brought in. And I asked Andrew, what's your, I was like, hey, pretend this is a job interview. What's your best skill and what's your worst quality, right? Like, they do that as a typical job interview question, right? And people always hit, and he goes, well, I think the worst quality I have is sometimes I stay on certain people or things too long. Sometimes I just believe in them and I just think they're going to turn it around, and it takes me too long to cut bait. And I was like, well, that's actually a really good answer. Because it's honest, like he might stick with people too long. But what they did this offseason is kind of the opposite, right? Like they let go of Justin Turner before fans were ready for them to let go of Justin Turner. They let go of Kiki Hernandez before fans were ready. Like that was 2 off seasons ago. But they let Cody Bellinger go. Like they did, they tried to keep him. I think there was a world in which they could have. Same thing with Kenley Jansen. Like all those fan favorites over the years, they've let those guys go when they hit a certain price point that the Dodgers weren't willing to match. And I think that's actually good that he was self-aware enough when I first asked him. Like literally, this first spring training. Say that's my greatest weakness is that I hold on too long. I think somebody's going to turn it around. It's like sunk cost, and I think they've done pretty good at staying disciplined on here's how our metrics value this player, here's how we value this player, and we just don't go over that. We just don't. And because in baseball you can always find JD DeMartinez, Jason Hayward, like older guys that you still think have something to contribute on one-year deals, short-term deals. There's just a lot of good players like that in baseball.
Want to win a trip to play golf with John Ireland and corporate Greg? Terranea Resort and ESPN LA are giving away a round of golf at the links at Terranea and lunch with Ireland and Greg. All you have to do is post a video of your golf swing on Instagram or Twitter and tag at ESPN Los Angeles. Mason and Ireland will review the best swings, and you could be playing golf with Ireland and corporate Greg at the links at Terranea. What I also think is interesting about that question, though, with Andrew Friedman, because he is somebody that I think gets scrutinized or, I don't know, examined heavily for what he does at the deadline, just because he's considered like very methodical in what he does. Like he'll go certain places, he won't go certain places. There's this perception that he always wants to win the trade every single time. Like you mentioned before, like there's the idea of winning a press conference. This was not a trade deadline, though, where I think he even could have gone big. Like if...
Well, there was some conversation with the Cardinals about Nolan Arenado that I think was out there.
Right, but ultimately the Cardinals took him off the market, period. And whether that was because the Dodgers didn't offer enough or whether the Cardinals ultimately decided we want to keep him for whatever direction they go in, it wasn't really a deadline with a lot of names. Like the 2 biggest names that moved were Verlander and Scherzer, and that wasn't even expected heading into this year.
Right.
Like if the Mets had been what everybody expected, it would have been a really quiet deadline anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Giolito, right? The Angels made some big moves there. But yeah, the guys who I think should have got traded, like I think the Padres should have traded Josh Hader. They're not going to win. They should get something for him while they can. If they want to re-sign him in the offseason, they can.
Right.
Like the Angels, and that's something we should talk about for a whole other show. Not show, but segment. The Angels went for it. I wonder how they'll look back on this trade deadline. I wonder in the offseason how they'll look back on it, if you can live with that, what's happened with how they've done since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a relatively quiet trade deadline. There was, the Dodgers had a move and the guy didn't want to come to LA.
Right. That's true. That is true. I forgot about that. They did want to make that move, and he ultimately decided to stay in Detroit, and you can't do anything about somebody using a no-trade clause. But I just thought it was interesting. It reminds me a little bit with, like, Rob Pelinka and the Lakers this offseason, because the Lakers are always connected to every big name out there. And, there was that question about whether or not the Lakers would do the Lakery thing and go after the big shiny thing, or if they would stand pat and go with continuity. This was an offseason where in a lot of ways I feel like the best move, which was continuity, this may have been what Rob wanted to do, but ultimately he didn't really have many other options. Like other than Kyrie, I guess, there really was no big name for him to go after. You know what I mean? Like there really wasn't that option out there unless you were just going to blow up everything and try to get Kyrie. Like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, like they just had a team that went to the Western Conference Finals. Like you don't have to go crazy at that point.
Oh, look, like I said, I think Pelinka had a hell of an offseason. I think he had a terrific offseason. But I can tell you from hearing from Laker fans, whether on Twitter at Cam Brothers or in the comments section of Locked On Lakers YouTube podcast, which, by the way, Ramona, you can get 5 days a week anywhere you get your podcasts.
Oh, there it is.
There is a YouTube component, by the way, as well. I know there were a lot of Laker fans who were nervous that the Lakers would do the Laker thing.
Yeah,
and
chase the stars.
Yep, chase the stars, and they did, and I think they were smart for it. 2 o'clock call coming up next. Hit us up, 877.
Got a rant? You feeling ranty?
Do I feel a rant coming from someone else?
I feel some rants coming.
Okay.
I mean, I walked in the show on one.
You were on one.
I was like, what's up with the headphones, man?
You were on one. Hit us up
It's been building for weeks.
Hit us up with whatever you want. Just don't ask how we're doing. That will get you kicked off. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne, in for the guys, 710 ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station. Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
And it is Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
That's a good Madonna song. Happy birthday. 65
years
years old. She still looks great, though.
Madonna, is that how you say her last name? Ciccone?
Ciccone. Madonna Louise Ciccone.
I don't think I've ever heard her last name before now.
Yeah.
It's either
She's a one
Ciccone
name.
or Ciccone. I think you pronounce it Ciccone.
That could be the 2 o'clock call. Let us know how to pronounce Madonna's last name.
Do we like Madonna? Are people as into Madonna as I? Like, I've heard over the years lots of untoward things that would make me not like her if I just knew her now. Right? But because she was so important to me in my formative teenage years, I have confirmation bias. Like, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any bad stories about her. I'm mad at her that she came on 2.5 hours late when I went to go watch her at the Forum a couple years ago. That was ridiculous.
Was it a good show, though?
It was a great show, but it was Tuesday night, and she was 2.5 hours late. And we were like, come on, dude.
2 hours late?
2.5.
To put this
and there was no opener.
To put this in perspective.
So what do you do? Just sit there? Or
yeah.
What?
2.5 hours is a
there
decent...
a DJ at least playing music?
Oh, yeah, basically.
2.5 hours is a decent, like, concert.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like the show was supposed to start around 8. Okay, you don't expect it to start at 8, like maybe 8:30, 8:45. But it was like 10:15, 10:30 before she came on, and we were like, I think they have the noise ordinance. Like, we got to go home by midnight. Like, what's up?
That is late. That's
really
seriously
late. She didn't have an opener. We were like, come on, man.
Come on.
It's Tuesday night.
Come on, Chacona, get it going.
She's notoriously like this.
Well,
which is why they should have an opener. Like, people who are notoriously like 2 hours late, like, should always have an opener.
Here's the thing. Madonna has spent an awful lot of her life being able to get away with being 2.5 hours late.
Yeah. So is James Harden.
Right.
You like that seg?
I do like that seg.
How was that? How was that a good transition?
I'll tell you right now, you get the opportunity to see Madonna and James Harden. That show's starting late.
I feel like that's probably happened.
That show is starting
That feels like a pairing.
late.
Yeah.
It does feel like a pairing.
Hey, we got the 2 o'clock play today. Greg in L.A., you are on ESPN 710 with Andy and Momo. Don't ask how we're doing.
Hey, Momo, how you guys doing?
Oh, no!
Sorry.
Wait, you know what? Did he stop it in time? Did he stop it?
Of course I did.
Okay, he stopped.
Okay.
He stopped.
How.
Don't push it, Greg. Don't push it.
I heard how you,
sorry.
and then I hear you
I
stopped
almost
it.
dropped him.
Almost.
I've been pushing it all day. I almost got
Playing
fired.
with
Let's
fire,
go. Break
Greg.
the rant.
So, it's not even a rant. I just want to congratulate the Dodgers on holding their breath and not jumping off the ledge and trading away the whole farm system and everybody to get Scherzer or Verlander. They're playing excellent. I think they're going to go on a run and win the second World Series in the last few years and calm everybody's nerves in this league. So
There he goes.
They've done so. Also, the Lakers as well, keeping it right close to the vest and not going out to grab everything that they possibly could, are going to have an excellent year and also bring home another championship to the season.
Okay.
All right.
In
There you
addition
go.
to that, Madonna threw me out of her house a couple years ago at a post-Oscars party. So
Wait. Whoa.
Whoa. How did we not lead with this?
See, she should have kicked me out, honestly. I wasn't supposed to be there. But it was an Oscars party. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She could have let me stay for like the last 45
How did you find the house? I need some more details.
How did you end up there?
Okay. So let's say I may have been a part of a production of a movie in which we snuck into some high-end award shows, the Oscars being one of them.
I like it.
And following the awards, people are pretty intoxicated, so they don't really care what you do after the awards. We go to the Vanity Fair party and hooked up with a couple of Hollywood celebs, and they were like, there's a party at Madonna's house. You guys should come. So, hell, why not?
Act like you belong.
Shuttle. Exactly. Shuttle takes us to the party. Security got a little tighter at Madonna's house, and around 3 a.m., they start just walking around, tapping people on the shoulder who may or may not have supposed to been in the room. And I was one of said people who was.
Did they say, are you on the list? Was there a list?
There was a list, and I said that I was someone else.
Oh.
On the list. So when person got there, it was time for Greg to go.
Oh.
They weren't so nice about it.
I admire this about you. I am somebody who's like a professional sneaker inner.
All right, Greg, next time, I'm giving you a
Good,
tip.
I like it.
Next time you call in for the 2 o'clock call with something like this, skip the Dodgers part, skip the Lakers part, don't care about any of that. Go right to the time you got kicked out of Madonna's house.
Yeah.
Nice house. I assume it's a really nice house.
Give us a general description of where her house is in this city. Not the address, not the street, just where. Los Feliz?
It's Mulholland adjacent.
Okay. And
up in the hills.
What was the best or unusual or most like FU money thing you saw in Madonna's house?
The nude ladies hanging from the ceiling on ribbons, handing out drinks and appetizers.
Okay.
Wow.
How are the apps? We talking bacon wrap dates or
bacon bacon wrapped shrimp and
he remembers
little personal bottles of champagne.
No, wait. Are there?
This is fantastic.
Okay, were they? You said
cool.
they were hanging, Greg. You said they were hanging from the ceiling.
They were on like you know how they do
like Cirque du Soleil or something.
Yeah. They were on like those ribbons. They had them like wound between their legs and they were hanging upside down with the.
How do you hold the tray?
They must have had a lot of practice.
Yeah, core strength.
That is some serious core, and being upside down that long, like you could pass out.
I think you like climb up a little bit.
Okay,
and go back down.
All right,
I think they got the freedom to move at their leisure.
Yeah. And do they like swing over to you and be like, "Would you like something, sir?" Or do you just like walk by them?
No, they were supposed to be like statuesque figures, so it was like kind of weird because as late as it was in the evening and after a few drinks, like you walk right up to one of them.
Bump into them.
And they're like, whoa, okay, hello.
Oof.
Oh, that's real.
It's like a
Sorry about
hanging
that. I
statue.
didn't know that was a real body part there. Yep,
Oh. Wow.
That's like I talked about the movie The Nice Guys before. There's a party that they go to. I appreciate the call, Greg.
Wait. We might need to ask him some more.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll keep Greg.
Did you ever actually get to see Madonna in her house?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, she's probably in the private section. Was there anybody else?
There's probably like a super VIP area.
Yeah. Did you get to see anybody else who was supposed to be there? Any other famous people there?
Oh yeah, yeah. I met a lot of people that evening, and most of them they didn't even care. They were just happy to be around people that would talk to them. I think a lot of celebrities are I think not thrown off, but like drawn by the fact that you'll just speak to them and like aren't anybody that they really know. Like everybody was pretty cool aside from the security.
Do you remember who you said you were?
The film Moonlight won the Oscar that year. So me and my group, we pretty much just impersonated the cast and crew. They didn't show up. They had another event or something that they had.
Why, yes, I am Mahershala Ali. You don't remember me? You don't It's okay. It's okay.
I just look a little different on.
Everyone says I don't look like myself in person. I'll show you the Oscars someday.
Oh my God,
that's funny. That's really.
Did this
funny.
ever become? You were part of a production company. Did you ever like do anything with this? Is there a film about this or a show?
It is still in the works of being purchased and put out
and developed. So were you guys like filming inside Madonna's house?
We may have been.
Oh, this is great.
I have another film out right now though. It's called Dirty Cops LA. If you guys want to take a peek at it, it's streaming on Tubi and Amazon.
Dirty Cops LA. Okay.
Yep.
Look this up.
I'm afraid it's going to be porn.
No. I just find it's got
that sounds like something I don't want to click on.
It's not porn at all.
No, it's got an IMDb page and everything.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Very good.
Okay, awesome.
Did they give away party favors at Madonna's house? Like, thanks for showing up. Here's your to-go bag?
No, they didn't.
Okay, Greg, did you play Detective Johnson in this?
That is me, sir.
Okay, I just now figured out who you are from your IMDb page.
Awesome.
You were Detective Johnson. There you go.
I want to see this thing that you guys have in development. This is good.
Oh, this is according to IMDb, your film debut.
Hey, is this Corporate Greg? Where's Corporate Greg? This is a good call.
This is a really good call.
It's probably the best 2 o'clock call of the day we've ever had.
Yeah.
If every
awesome.
2 o'clock call was as good as this one, Greg would wholeheartedly endorse the whole concept.
Yeah.
This has been really
good job.
This is taking us up to the break.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg.
There's another guy online too who I just.
Be a service.
There's no way he's going to top this.
Okay, we're going to go to him.
Hold on, I'm going to try it. Ready?
Do you want to wait or do you want to go to him now? Take him now? Take him now. Okay, Mauricio and Van Nuys.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Mauricio, we just had the best call at 2 o'clock that we've had in quite some time. This guy went to Madonna's house and he had great stories of naked people hanging from the ceilings and delivering shrimp.
What do you got, Mauricio?
What do you got?
There's no way I top that at all. There's no way I top that. I mean, I don't want to know how you guys are doing. What I do want to know is how AD's doing because I saw him boxing a couple weeks ago, and that makes me a little nervous. But I hope he's an MVP candidate, maybe a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. But it's all depending on if he's healthy or not. But you see him boxing, and I'm like, what's going on there?
It's a good call. I don't know how he's doing. I have now become one of those people who allows myself to be filmed doing a workout on Instagram and people's stories because I've been working out lately. and like trying to get in shape. And at first I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, dude, I don't look good. Like I look like I'm wearing shorts and a big baggy shirt and stuff, and I'm hiding the back. And everybody else in the class is like skinny girl wearing Lululemon and a sports bra. And I'm like, I don't know if I can really hang. But like athletically, I can hang. I just need to get in shape because I had babies and C-sections, et cetera, right? And so she tagged me in the photos, in the videos. And I was like, am I going to add that to my story or not? I'm going to add that to my story. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do it because this is like an accountability snap. And it's like, yo, this is what I'm doing. And so there's a part of me that when I see AD boxing, okay, I'm going to connect it back. I think he's kind of doing the same thing. Like, there's a part of like every time you allow yourself to be tagged in, is he posting it himself or is his trainer posting it and he's like adding it to the story?
That makes sense. I just hope he's healthy enough to make a good run, a defensive player of the year type of run, because I feel like the roster that's in place right now is for him to really flourish. And, you know, LeBron and the rest of the team as well. I saw Austin Reeves on a podcast. He was talking about the same thing. And that he started clowning AD about that boxing thing. So I just hope that the Lakers have a really good season this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, thank you for the call. When you're boxing as a 7-footer, I mean, it looks a little silly, right?
I feel like boxing is the most vulnerable of any of the rise and grind videos that people do. Because if you don't look the part boxing,
people make fun of you.
You are going to get mocked.
Also, you're 7 feet tall, so like the reach is kind of off.
Yeah,
and
you're
it's awkward, gangly. But like clearly, there's a message being sent, which is that I'm gonna get tougher. I'm gonna don't fight with me. I can fight back.
That voice,
it's good.
I'm gonna get tougher.
Yeah,
kind of like a wrestler.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly like everything you do on social media is a statement, right? Like you want someone to know this about you, and so I would probably never like film myself working out. Because I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, let me show when I start my walk and like what I see, or like I'm going to do my little stupid laps in the pool. Like, this is not exciting for people. But somebody else, you know, my trainer, she films her workouts and I think they're good. And it's an accountability snap. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, so now people know that I'm doing that. So there's this follow up. Like, if you just come back all chunky, they're going to be like, what happened to your working out? So I'm like, that's good. He's putting out there that I am boxing. I'm gonna be tougher this year. I'm boxer. Don't mess with me in the post, Jokic.
Your face right now, you're doing like a rootin' tootin' cowboy.
You know what it was? I was doing Clinton and I were hosting yesterday, and he was playing the Annie, are you okay? And I said, you know, when you sing that Michael Jackson song, you can't just sing it with a straight face.
Right.
You can't be like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? You have to make a face, right? You have to be like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? You got to scrunch your face up and stuff. So I think I'm in that zone.
All right, want to win a chance to play golf with John Ireland and Corporate Greg? Terranea Resort and ESPN LA are giving away a round of golf at the links at Terranea and lunch with Ireland and Greg. All you have to do is post a video of your golf swing on Instagram or Twitter and tag at ESPN Los Angeles. We, Mason and Ireland, will review the best swings, and you could be playing golf with Ireland and Corporate Greg at the links at Terranea. We were just talking about Anthony Davis. Darvin Ham said some pretty bold things about AD and the team and his expectations. We will get into that next. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne in for the guys.
Afternoons on 7.
Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Okay, now, if you were a real Madonna fan, you would know this is the one song she doesn't like.
Oh, really? She doesn't like this?
She doesn't like this song because I don't think she really wrote it. I think somebody wrote it for her and said it's going to be a hit. You should sing it. And she nailed it. Like, the video's great. Her vocal is very poppy here, but she doesn't like the messaging of this song. It's like not her. But obviously, it was a huge commercial success.
It's honestly not one of her best songs.
No.
It's, I think, one of her weaker hits.
Yeah, it's very bubblegummy.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite of hers?
Good phrase for it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite of hers?
I like all of them. I like Ray of Light. I like that album.
Ray of Light's a really good song.
It's a good.
It's a newer one, right?
Yeah, the later.
Relatively.
Like a 21st century Madonna
I
song.
like.
No, it's still 20th.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Ray of Light was a good album. The whole thing was good. I like the. I like some early. I like A Prayer, of course. You know,
Borderline's really good.
Borderline's
a really good song. Crazy. I think Crazy for You is
It's a real good song.
That's a
Let me just see what I have in
really
my
good song.
Apple Music for Madonna. This is what's always on the playlist. Let's see.
Who's that girl? Good song, bad movie.
It is a bad movie.
Oh, I like. I can't say this on the radio, but I'm Madonna. That one. That's a good one. Rebel Heart. That was her. The Power of Goodbye is a good song. Give Me All Your Lovin', the Nicki Minaj one she did.
She's got one that isn't that well known that I think is really good. It's called I'd Rather Be Your Lover. That one's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray of Light, 1998.
Yeah. It's a 20th century. Sorry, Funchy.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, wow.
But it's kind of relative. Do you remember she did? I hadn't seen this in years, but was randomly watching. It was some channel called MTV 2000s, and she had that one song with Britney. That was like
yes,
a
I do remember
hit.
that.
That was
yes,
good.
Yes.
It's like her in the club with
Madonna.
Madonna.
Yeah. I remember they did it one year at the MTV
Oh,
Movie
you know what
Awards.
song I really like that always gets forgotten? Open Your Heart.
Yeah, that's actually a good
one.
song.
It's a good Madonna song.
That is actually good. All right, so
I'm gonna add that to the library right now.
All right, so Darvin Ham was at a Basketball Without Borders event in South Africa and said that he thinks that the Lakers are close to a championship team. Talked about the leadership of LeBron and AD, talked about retaining Austin Reeves, D'Lo, Rui Hachimura. But then he also talked about the depth in Gabe Vincent and Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, and he emphasized a few times the depth that this team has heading into this season. You know, he didn't mention, but I think Max Christie is earmarked for a rotation role this year. Could actually, I think, play 15 really important minutes a game this year. I just thought it was interesting the way, and I think as somebody who was once a role player and was part of a championship team in 2004, that those Pistons, in retrospect, I think were a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, they're coming up on the 25th anniversary of that, by the way.
I know.
Oof.
But that team that 2004 team with Chauncey Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace.
20th, yeah.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton. They were more star-laden than they were given credit for at the time. But I thought it was interesting the way Darvin focused on the depth of this team.
Well, they finally have a team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The last few years they've had, like with the year they won it in 2020, they had a team. Like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was a major contributor. JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard,
Alex Caruso,
Kuzma. Kuz. I mean, they had guys who played their roles.
Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green. He's still available.
He is still. Unfortunately, I don't know if he can still play.
Nobody knows because he tore his knee.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he can still play.
I think somebody will sign him.
I hope so. He's a good guy. I like Danny.
Yeah.
But I feel like, obviously at the end of the day, this team's going to go as far as LeBron and AD can take them.
Yeah.
But the pieces around you really matter a lot. And I think sometimes, especially too, like when you look at things through the prism of the Lakers, they've been so star-laden over the years, you tend to think about the stars. But the role players really matter a lot, especially in a season where you're looking to make a championship push in part off the freshness of LeBron and AD, like how much they have in the tank at the end of the year. You need innings eaters. Like you need guys who can soak up minutes and get wins so it's not some mad scramble at the end of the season. A guy like Gabe Vincent can really matter. Taurean Prince can really matter.
He better matter. They're paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think
Christie will matter a lot this year.
Yeah, also because I think they're going to have to load manage this year. Like one of the things that when you go to the Western Conference Finals, like you play deep into May, you don't have as long of an off season. There's not as much time to recover. Like it's hard to do it year in and year out, get back, especially when you have an aging roster. So I always have so much respect for teams that are there every single year. Like the Warriors there every single year. The Laker teams of yesteryear, they were there every year. Even the years they didn't win, when they got upset or they lost in the finals, like they were there every year. They played into June, right? It's not easy to bring that kind of enthusiasm to the regular season when literally all you're doing is waiting to pick up where you left off last year.
Well, especially, LeBron talked about this last year as the Lakers were getting eliminated from the Western Conference Finals. Like, I think he was happy of of how far they eventually went in the playoffs. And I think he was proud of what they were able to accomplish, like in a vacuum. But he was open about like, look, man, conference finals has been there, done that for me. Like many, many, many times over. Like, I'm not going to poo-poo it. But at the same time, if I don't at least get to the finals, it's not that special for me. Which means, LeBron's not mailing in a regular season, but he's not motivated in the same way that Austin Reeves is going to be motivated, or Rui Hachimura, or I hope D'Angelo Russell. Like guys like that who still are establishing themselves in the league, still trying to accomplish certain things. Like LeBron, there's literally nothing left for LeBron to do. Like there really isn't.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to tie Michael Jordan for however much that matters either to him or other people. He's not likely to tie. Not impossible, but not likely. Like he basically has to run the table for the rest of his career.
Look, if what there is left for him to do is to be the most effective 40-year-old, right? The most effective 41-year-old. Like Jordan played into his 40s, into his early 40s, but he had some gap years.
Due respect to Michael Jordan, his 40s are nowhere close to what LeBron's doing in his late 30s.
Correct. And I think that's, especially while you can still do it. Like once you stop, that's it.
Oh,
sure. And that's why I think LeBron got to that place of like, maybe I have to retire at the end of this year, because there's no lonelier place than the first few minutes after your season ends. And you have an entire offseason and a whole season to get back to where you just were and you fell short.
And it's getting harder for LeBron. Like LeBron is still playing at a high level, but he's admitted it. And even if he didn't admit it, you can see it.
Yeah.
He's laboring more to make this stuff happen. Like he can still produce, but he used to make triple doubles and 40-point performances look easy. You see the labor now. You see the sweat. It's harder.
Yeah. It's I always wonder where the drive comes from. Like, I know for me right now in my life, my drive comes from a totally different place than it did 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 10 years ago, I was climbing the mountain. I was trying to be the best writer I could, or the best broadcaster, or get, climb as high as I could climb, or whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to be great at my craft. I was still kind of honing in. Now I'm kind of like, I want to stay there. Like I don't want to lose and fall down. And like when I coach my kids' soccer team, I don't want to get winded when I'm coaching practice, right? Like that's a different thing, Like I still get excited about really good stories and players on their way up, but it's not my first time doing this.
Right.
Like I've written the nowadays, like you don't want to say you're jaded, but you have this like, oh, is this a right around story? Oh, is this a coming of age story? Oh, this is a I want to be great story. How do you take the next step story? Like we have those types of narratives and tropes and all that stuff that we've done before.
Yeah.
But you still want to do a great job. You still like to, and I actually feel the same way LeBron did last year, where he said, I get excited when I see young people do these things for the first time, because it's not my first time doing it. Right. So it's exciting for him to still be with young guys who are getting a kick out of this.
And to teach them how to do a lot of this. Like, to help an Austin Reeves or Max Christie.
Rui Hachimura.
Like, Rui, by all accounts, was in LeBron's ear constantly and asking questions, being able to impart wisdom, like Kobe post-Achilles, when he really just was a shell of himself as a player.
Yeah.
I think, he got frustrated by the losing, and, that environment was not really suitable for Kobe down the stretch. But I do think, seeing a guy like Jordan Clarkson develop, seeing a guy like Julius Randle, like the young guys who he felt cared. Kobe, I think, liked imparting wisdom on those guys and some of his experience on them.
Yeah.
Because at that point, he can't really play at the level he could before. He knows his team can't compete at the level, but you want to find something to do. So frankly, there's a purpose for you being on the team.
Correct.
Like otherwise, there's no real need for you to be there. You're not getting anything from it. They're not getting anything from it. You want to have a purpose.
Yeah, guys like LeBron, you can't work as hard as he does without finding that purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, he doesn't just show up and wing it. Like, oh, I know what I'm doing out there. He is in the lab working harder than ever at age 38.
Again, he has to work hard to make sure that he can stay on the court all year, because when he's got like playoff mileage, that's the equivalent of about 6 regular seasons on top of the 2020 regular seasons already played. It is really hard to keep doing this. So you need to have a reason. Like LeBron doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to just play for the sake of playing. And like Kobe, I remember before he tore his Achilles, I used to always think that Kobe was going to retire a little bit earlier than people expected, just because I don't think he's one of those guys that would play for the sake of playing. And if he could not play at a level that satisfied himself, that provided himself purpose, I don't think he had interest in it. He certainly didn't have an interest in being like a third option of a team. Like he wanted to play on a championship caliber team built around him. He played for specific reasons. And if he couldn't have those reasons, I think it changed once he tore his Achilles, because that became a different challenge. But I think if he had stayed healthy, I always got the sense, and I may be wrong, that he was going to actually leave with a little bit left on the table, as opposed to just playing for as long as he can for the sake of it.
Yeah, you could also just be saying that now because that's what happened.
No, I thought that before.
Okay.
I actually did think that well before.
Find me a clip from the Locked On Lakers podcast from like 2012.
Well, it didn't exist. But you know what? I will see if I can find
Let me
something.
see some receipts.
I'm going to see if I can find some receipts. In the meantime, the James Harden mess, what does it have to do with the Lakers? Explain that coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky and Ramona Shelburne in for the guys.
Sedano.
ESPN, the OGs of LA Sports Radio. We're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason in Ireland continues now.
Okay, as long as we're talking Madonna, Desperately Seeking Susan, the movie, still holds up. That is a great movie.
You know what, Andy? I watched it recently, and I realized it wasn't good.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it recently. I liked it.
Really? I don't know.
And I like the score. Like, the score is very 80s synth. Like, I listen to it a lot while I'm writing, while I'm working.
But also was tuning out, too, a little bit when I was watching the movie, too. So I didn't catch it.
This was also Madonna when she was, like, her zenith of cool.
Yeah.
Just, like, pure cool. Like, she owned the room cool.
I mean, she's really good as an actress, too. Like,
she's good in this movie.
That's why I think Gaga is a good comp.
Have you guys
Gaga's
ever seen
really
Shanghai Surprise?
Not so great in that.
Nope.
I didn't see
her
that.
and former husband Sean Penn. Yeah.
I forgot the Sean Penn thing.
She's really good in League of Her Own. She's funny in that.
Yeah, she was good there.
What else? Evita, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Guess.
Yeah.
Don't cry for me. I mean, you know.
Okay. Also, Momo.
And the scene from the balcony. I mean, that's a great scene.
Yeah.
She's good in that.
Because you dropped a challenge, Momo.
Uh-huh.
From 2015, a piece that I wrote for Lakers Nation. 2015.
Let's go.
Over the last month or so, I've been pondering a hypothetical. Had Kobe known in April 2013, when he blew out his Achilles, what he known now, would he have actually played beyond the 2014 season, his last under contract? Pre-injury, I had a strong feeling Kobe planned to retire then anyway. He had dropped casual hints about leaving the game before anybody expected it, and I've always sensed Kobe is the rare superstar who'd prefer to leave the world still wanting rather than hanging around too long. Kobe is as image-aware of any athlete I've ever seen, not a criticism, and manages his brand with surgical precision. He could recognize the value in never allowing the world to witness a decline. That was from 2015. That's a
good.
receipt. That's a receipt.
You know what that also proves to me? You write and talk about the Lakers a lot.
Oh, I talk about them so much.
I mean, like, literally, what are you talking about right now? It's 5 days a week for the Locked On Lakers, like in the middle of August.
Funny you should say that, Momo, because today's episode. Nice setup.
I mean, do you and Brian just sit back and be like, "Well, I got nothing. What do you got?"
You can't. To quote Walter White, nothing stops this train. But what we talked about today, and I thought this was interesting, James Harden, his trade request, trade demand, Daryl Morey's a liar, the mess he's creating that's now global because he's creating this mess in China now.
Oh, yeah.
And you're neck deep in this. You've been reporting this. It got us thinking about 2007 and when Kobe went on the radio tour demanding his trade. He was on ESPN. He was on Fox. He was everywhere demanding a trade, called Dr. Buss an idiot, said that the organization...
He called him an idiot?
Yes,
I don't remember that part.
Yes, he did. He had said that he implied that, or he didn't even imply, he said that the organization had promised him a quicker rebuild.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And that they told Phil Jackson something different, so he felt lied to. And remember, there was the parking lot rant where he was filmed by two randos just telling him, ship Andrew Bynum's ass out to New Jersey for Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is back when, this is before everybody ever expected to be filmed. Like, if you ever did anything, someone's filming. We were just throwing around the idea of which was more drama, which was more tension, Kobe then or James Harden now?
It's a good question.
I think it's Kobe then.
I think it's Kobe because it's a different media ecosystem, right? Like there wasn't Twitter and social media and all that stuff. But, I mean, he was like all over everywhere.
He was all over everywhere. Kobe he was in his prime then.
James Harden just said two lines.
Right. Kobe worked hard to make sure this stayed in the news because you had to work harder to keep things, because like you said, different media cycle. Kobe was in his prime, arguably the best player in the game in that moment, and had already won 3 championships for the Lakers, and it's the Lakers. James Harden hasn't won a thing for the Sixers. He's only been there a couple years. Yeah, there's a domino effect. Maybe if he leaves, it could affect Embiid, but Embiid hasn't won anything.
Well, I think it's more
either.
that Harden has just done this 3 times.
Yes, that's Yeah, that's also too.
You know, so it's like, oh, what, another trade request? Oh, okay.
I know. All right, wake us up when
you're like the
next
star
one's
who cried trade request. You
exactly.
know what I mean, it's like,
but like, think how big that was.
Yeah,
and that was pre-social media. Like, can you imagine if Kobe had done that in the age of Twitter? Like, we talk about blank would have broken Twitter all the time. That would have broken Twitter.
Yeah. That was a really big deal. I remember it because I was listening on the radio. I heard it on the radio station. I heard it on. He did interviews on. He did both radio stations. I think he did 710 and 570.
Brian joked on our show like he would have done NPR like if they had brought him out. Like he was going anywhere that would listen.
Yeah.
And then like remember there was that question too about whether he was going to show up to training camp.
Yeah, I remember being at training camp that time.
I remember this. You know, at the old facility, the players would come out from the back, and we could be a lot closer to their entrance points and that. And Kobe was the last guy to come out.
Yeah.
And he came out like 15 or 20 minutes after everyone else. And as the players started to trickle out, I remember I saw Kwame Brown, and I was just catching up with Kwame, how was your summer, whatever. Kwame actually asked me, he's like, do you know if he's here? Like, is he coming? I'm like, dude, you're on the team.
Yeah.
Like, how would I know if you don't know? But, like, there was real questions, like, is he going to be there? I remember asking, like, a few players or officials, like, is he back there? And they're like, I don't know. I actually don't know. Like, that was real drama.
And it's also Kobe and the Lakers. I mean,
yes.
This is different. This is a guy who had won championships there. This is not – James Harden has not won championships anywhere.
No, and I mean, look.
He's just – and Philly's like his third team.
Kobe.
It's not –
I mean, Kobe is – you know, he's an icon, but he was an icon with, like, fan fervency that I don't think I've ever seen with another athlete. Like, this was a massive deal. It was polarizing because at the time he was still being blamed for Shaq being traded and, you know, Phil not having his contract renewed. He eventually came back, but there was a lot being blamed on Kobe back then. Some stuff I think fair, some stuff I think very unfair.
Yeah.
But do you remember the opening game of that season? Kobe got booed in player introductions.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He did. Like, by the end of the game, Kobe won everyone over because Kobe always won everyone over. But it was a really tense
I think there's
time.
also this difference where nobody ever expected that he would just, A, not show, or B, show up and fake an injury or something. Like, the guy loves to play too much. That's kind of how I felt about Kevin Durant last year. It's like, I just don't buy that he's going to sit out or tank a season or whatever.
That's why I don't buy it with Dame. Dame is never going to do that.
Yeah, and I do buy it with Harden. We've seen it.
Yes, we know he might because we've seen him do it.
Yeah.
But it's just, for people who don't remember it or were too young or whatever, like, you cannot overstate how big this was with Kobe and the Lakers. Like, if Kobe had gone, say the Lakers had figured out a way to make the Chicago deal work or somewhere else, like, it changes not just the landscape of the NBA at the moment, like, it changes NBA history if Kobe goes somewhere different. In a way, Harden going somewhere else does not alter NBA history.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that him going to Brooklyn and then Philadelphia has altered NBA history.
Right, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah, on a smaller
like,
scale,
It's the difference between, like, a little bit of sliding doors versus, like, a full-on butterfly effect. Like, Kobe going to Chicago is a butterfly effect, like a Mothra from the Godzilla movies. Like, big wings. So that's what we talked about on the Locked On Lakers podcast.
And you can use that one every year, right?
We might have to at least every August.
Let's go back to 2007.
Yeah, I think that's probably next August 16th, 2024.
You can always talk about Kobe. Like literally, he is endlessly fascinating and interesting.
He is hands down the most interesting athlete I've ever covered or been around, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and then you have like some tie-ins. Like, okay, so you're coming up on Kobe Day, 8/24.
Yeah,
you get that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Got to come up with some stuff.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, you know how people will geek out on like NBA or sports numerology.
Okay,
when you're somebody like Kobe, who played so many years and did so many different things, you can find a way to attach pretty much any number to him.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to, you can make anything work. And, you know, like you said, I mean, we both covered him. You, in particular, knew him pretty well. He is really, really interesting. Like, beyond being great, he was interesting.
Yeah.
So you're right. You never run out of things to bring up with him or talk about. And it just, this thing with Harden got us organically thinking about that time in 2007.
Good job, guys. You've been doing this 5 days a week for 20 years. You still have stuff to talk about.
We still have things to talk about. That's
pretty
why
good.
we've managed to stay in this space.
Andy Kamenetsky, I'm Ramona Shelburne, Mason and Island.
Take
Coming
us
up
out.
next, what's up, fool?
What's up, fool?
What's up, fool?
710.
Travis and Sliwa.
Is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Not Corporate Greg.
Yeah, you're Corporate Greg.
But thank you, Morales. So actor Michael Rappaport was a guest on Watch What Happens Now with Andy Cohen, where he revealed he was among the roughly 200 inviting guests to the Brad Pitt-Jennifer Aniston wedding back in the year 2000. He said, I was at the Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston wedding. They had a wall of caviar. I still have some saved over. I'm still eating caviar from there. I was shoveling down like crazy.
Wow.
So, guys, I guess my question here is, what was the best guest favor or meal that you had at a wedding you attended? Momo.
Guest favor. I like it when they have the photo booths. Those are kind of fun because you get to take photos with whoever you went with. So I went to been to a few of those. I think the food at my wedding was really good. I was into it. I was like, look, I don't care about the plated dinner or anything like that. Buffet style and make it taste really good. And I think it was solid. Like everybody told me like the food was really good because I think when people are judging a wedding, that's part of like.
It wasn't caviar, was it?
No, it was like that's like fancy stuff. I think that's a little much. You know,
you never wall of caviar.
Yeah, I like it when people give away like little wine bottles that are personalized. Like I gave away our favors were like little olive oil bottles, and we had our
nice.
Ramona and Nevin with the date and stuff. I think like usable gifts. That's good. Photo booth, usable gifts, little wine bottle that's personalized. That's cool.
Andy?
The only wedding meal that jumps out that off the top of my head, I can remember A friend of mine who got married in Texas, they had like a barbecue buffet.
I've been to something like that. It's
that
great.
was great.
Awesome.
It was fantastic. Like, it was not fancy at all.
Good.
But it was just really
But aren't you
good
worried about,
food.
like, you're going to mess up your clothes and stuff like that?
I didn't know anything. It was in Texas.
It's been an open bar then, man.
Yeah, the bar was open. I didn't care. But yeah, that's the thing I remember, actually.
Brian, any stories?
No favors I could think of, but the last wedding I went to with my cousins, and they had beef short rib, or like beef braised short rib. Best I've ever had in my life. It was so good.
I like the weddings where they give you a shot glass as a guest favor, because you can always use the shot glass or whatever. But at my wedding, we gave out chocolate bars with our picture on it.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I still have some left over too. So
Like
if you guys want some chocolate bars,
We gave out. We had little picture frames.
Oh,
Like
nice,
little
nice,
small picture
nice.
frames that you could fit maybe like a small 2-person photo inside it.
And then for dessert, at my wedding, we had churros and mini donuts.
That's good.
Yeah, and I didn't even get to have any of them because I'm like running around taking pictures and all that stuff. So
Hey, that sounds like a good wedding.
No, it's actually one of the things you have to remember at your wedding is to actually take a moment for yourself and make it your wedding.
Yeah, I know.
As opposed to
Yeah.
trying to make everybody
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
there, trying to make sure you get FaceTime with everyone. You got to take a little moment for yourself. It's actually for you.
That's right, Brian. He's the one getting married soon.
Yep, coming up.
What's up, fool?
So I saw this yesterday. Walker Buehler goes on a podcast called The Just Baseball Show every week. And
Every week? Who
Every
hosts
week,
this?
yeah. Who hosts it?
Is it like a teammate or something? Or
I don't think it's a teammate. I think he is like the regular guest on a podcast.
Got
He
it.
comes
Just
on
one day a
weekly.
week, I'm not impressed.
Right, every Monday he's on. But this Monday he had an idea for a new MLB award. He thinks that there should be an NL and an AL Rookie Cy Young Award to go along with the regular Rookie of the Year award. You in favor of this? His argument was he finished third in the Rookie of the Year when he was a rookie, and he lost to Acuna and Soto.
Oh, that
and so
sucks.
he should have been, in his mind, Rookie Cy Young.
I mean, he is correct in the sense that it is really difficult for pitchers to win MVPs or a Rookie of the Year or anything like that. So if you're not in the running for a Cy Young, you're likely not going to win anything as a pitcher.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I get where he's coming from. Feels super specific, like NL Rookie Cy Young.
Yeah, you can be like outfielder of the year.
It's almost like they have in football the offensive
player
Rookie
of the
year.
Yeah. I mean, I see what he's talking about. I think he just came up in the wrong year. Most of the time, the Rookie of the Year, it's a real stretch. You know, they just got to pick. They got to find someone.
I mean,
that was a powerhouse year.
If they
for
adopted
Minnesota.
this, I'm not going to think it's ridiculous. I mean, I get where it's coming from. It just, I don't have a strong feeling about it one way or the other.
What's up, fool?
It's got a Funchy.
All right, guys. So there's been rumors running rampant on social media that Soup Plantation will be coming back from the dead. And if you remember, they all went out of business because of COVID, and pretty much all buffets went out of business for COVID, and they're slowly coming back right now. But there's one restaurant. There was rumors that there would be one Soup Plantation that would open up in the city of La Mesa, and then they got quickly shot down yesterday when I guess that location turned into a daycare center, and all the hope is all gone now. So I love Soup Plantation. Me and my wife still talk about how we wish it was still open. I love the chicken noodle soup there. It was just so good. So what are some stores or restaurants that you want to come back from the dead, Andy?
Oh, first of all, let's just get past this take that the chicken noodle soup there is so good.
It is.
That's the draw. Just like probably from a can. I mean, it's
I
not
love
like
it.
it's not like
Oh,
some
no,
chef
it
was
isn't.
back there
they had some
simmering that
chefs.
chicken
It's made
forever.
with love. It's made with love.
I guarantee you that was dehydrated at one point.
Love it.
Add hot water.
You can't
Stir.
cross my dreams.
Love it.
For reasons I'm not going to get into on air, not a Soup Plantation guy. Did not.
We heard
work
your
for me.
story.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not getting into it. But
Yeah. I mean, I like a
work
good
for me.
buffet. I do.
So do I. It's
Yeah.
not the buffet thing. It was just specifically Soup Plantation.
I mean, there is something about the sort of low end buffets that creeps me out, like the Golden Corral.
Okay.
That is literally like using. We are cows going to the trough. Like
you know,
that.
you know what's funny is when the pandemic hit, I thought at the time, I was like, you will never see another buffet again.
Yeah.
Like forever.
Ever, yeah.
They've come back, and like when I was on vacation last week, we stayed at this all inclusive in Mexico.
Totally
and
back.
A couple of the restaurants were buffets.
Yeah.
It took me a second to really. Okay,
It was
we're doing
a
this now.
buffet at Crypto all last year.
Yeah, no, it was
back. The salad bar was back. I'm like, we're doing this again. Okay.
Yeah, look, once you get used to it, it was great. I mean, it really, and the food at this place that I stayed at, we've been there before. It's always really good. It's a high-end buffet.
Yeah.
But still, it is the pandemic really sort of reinforced the idea of this is bizarre. We're all just sort of buzzing over the same food.
Yeah.
We're all grabbing the same utensils, and this is just what we do.
Yeah. Oops, I got a little dressing in that pasta salad. Whoops, spilled.
As far as places to come back, remember the 101 Cafe? That coffee shop near the 101 Franklin, Hollywood?
Nice, though.
Yeah, it closed during the pandemic. I used to love that place.
Yeah.
It's the spot, remember, in Swingers.
Oh, no way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Swingers, where Vince Vaughn is on the table. He's like, you're all grown up and you're all grown up and you're all grown up.
Nice.
I'm trying to think what needs to come back.
Blockbuster Video?
You don't really eat there.
I wish there was more bookstores. We got a Barnes and Noble out in Calabasas, and
there's one in the Grove, I think, too.
Yeah, there's a few, and they've mostly stayed in business by greatly diversifying. The first floor is a few books, and the Starbucks cafe there, and then the second floor is straight up toy store. It's it's all just for kids toy store.
I'm going to give a shout out.
But I do like a good bookstore.
I'm going to give a shout out to a bookstore. It's downtown. It's called The Last Bookstore. If you've never been there, it's phenomenal. It's on Spring Street. It's like a 2-story massive bookstore that's just never ending. The sections go on
dope.
forever. It's used books, new books, every single category of books. It's incredible. Really, truly, if you like bookstores, go to this place downtown, The Last Bookstore.
I mean, I guess that's what I wish would come back. They have to do. I think there's a way back for bookstores.
They also have vinyl there, too.
What about TCBY? Can that come back?
TCBY?
It's just a yogurt thing.
I feel like Yogurtland's got it covered.
I love that place.
That's okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Whatever. It's a yogurt place.
God,
there's
you're
a lot
so
of
young, Brian.
There's a lot of yogurt
I wish
places.
I was your age.
So
I wish I was your age.
As far as low end buffets, just can't top Sizzler.
Oh, that's I love
it's still back.
Sizzler.
It's back.
Yeah,
I know.
still
It's
there.
never left.
There was a
Sizzler is the original.
There was a Sizzler across the street from my dorm freshman year, on the other side of Figueroa. Let's just say that was a good place to go while high.
I mean, is there
food never
literally
ended.
is there anything better than the buffet at Sizzler with the all you can eat shrimp? And they just keep bringing you those shrimp, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna take so many of these home too. But that buffet, I'm not saying the food's so good. I like that crab salad. It's definitely not made of crab, but I like the crab salad and all the stuff they have. But there's just something about the all you can eat shrimp. That's a good spot.
What's that, Foo?
I don't feel
got
ashamed.
one more for you guys here. Thousands of fans are signing a petition to bring back the show Mindhunter for a 3rd season on Netflix.
The David Fincher show.
Yeah, it's got about 55,000 signatures so
It's
far.
good.
Yeah,
It's really
it was
good.
one of my favorites. So is there a show that you guys would want to, bring back for another season?
Oh,
It's funny. When Freaks and Geeks was on, that show was on for 1 season and got canceled because they could never find the audience for it.
Huh.
And it's an incredible show. It's so great. And I remember at the time being upset it got canceled. But then I came around to realize it was actually perfect that it did, because the show never had a downhill period. It never overstayed its welcome. The entire cast went on to do all sorts of stuff because they were super talented. It was actually for the best that show, because the longer it stayed on, the more NBC would have been tinkering with it and made it worse.
Yeah.
It actually worked out perfect that it just had 1 season.
I'm going to say My So-Called Life. That one with Claire
That
Danes.
was a good show.
That went away a little too soon. I think she had a lot more
Jordan
stuff.
Catalano.
Yeah.
Jared Leto. Before he truly became weird and annoying.
Yeah.
He's off-putting now.
Yeah, it's a little too much, yeah.
Jared Leto is straight up off-putting. I don't like anything he's in. I don't like seeing him on screen. He's really bothersome.
Is he a good singer? He's in a rock band, right?
Yeah. He's in a rock band. That was a good show that didn't last very long.
No.
What other ones would we want more of?
Well, there were a lot of people I know who wanted to see Succession go one more season. I actually thought it went out fine. I liked the amount of time that it was on. I don't think it needed to go on any longer.
No, I think Succession to me could come back in about 5 years, and see what happened to them. That would work. I I always I was sad when the West Wing went away.
I never got into it.
Oh.
I never got into the West Wing.
Wow, that is a hard one to digest. I think that it went on a long time. They didn't need to keep going, but it'd be fun for it to come back in this very new political world.
Well, John Ireland would watch.
Yeah,
I don't know. Show never worked for me. All right, it's time for 710 to get some fall interns, and if you are a college student currently, or you have one living in your house, they can apply for a paid internship and to earn college credit this fall at 710 ESPN. Go to ESPNLA.com to apply. Coming up next, Momo, one of your boos is in a little trouble.
Come on now.
One of your boos stepped in it. We will talk about that coming up next, 710 ESPN.
ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Wednesday afternoon.
I don't know where these sounds are coming from. Everybody's on my nerves today. Everybody's on my nerves.
Are you going to sit there and just take it?
Let's get to it. Your Wednesday afternoon. Mason and Ireland right now.
All right, Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne in for the guys. And Momo, something I've learned hosting a few shows with you over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You're very into Fleetwood Mac. I did not know that until the last couple of weeks. Seems like they're one of your favorite bands.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't stop.
Yeah, I'm very Fleetwood. Yes.
Well, Stevie Nicks, who is the face of Fleetwood Mac, the legend.
Don't you talk about Stevie?
Well, I'm not talking about Stevie. Others.
There it is.
Others are talking about Stevie Nicks. As you know, there are the wildfires in Hawaii that have been absolutely
yes, I read this story.
Devastating. And in particular, the area of Lahaina has been really...
Yeah, the whole town burned down. It was awful.
And Stevie Nicks took to Instagram, and it turns out she has property near there. And she wrote, as some of you have heard, the island Maui, where I own a house...
It's a long post. I can send.
I'm not going to read it all. Okay. Since the 80s. In a small village city, most magical place on earth, Lahaina, burned to the ground over the last few days. And to make the situation worse, my young niece, her husband, and her little boy had just arrived for a very needed vacation before she started up her school year on the way to becoming a psychologist for 10 days. They had 1.5 days of fun, and then the fire started. She went on then to talk about the difficulties for the island, stuff like that.
Yeah, how much everyone from Fleetwood has loved Maui. It's a magical place.
It inspired the band, yada, yada, yada. She is getting crushed on social media about making this about her niece and, a vacation being ruined as opposed to people's lives being completely devastated. How do you post that?
You know what? I get it. Like, sometimes this is why social media is really dangerous, because there's a part of you that's like, okay, like when I saw this happen in Hawaii, I texted my college roommate who's like from Hawaii. She's not even from Maui. She's from Oahu. But I was like, oh my God, tell me what's happening. I text people I know who I associate with Hawaii. Sure. And I went back and I looked at photos. Like, we actually went on our honeymoon to Maui and Kauai. And like, I was looking at photos of like the banyan tree that's there in Lahaina and all those restaurants and all those places, all those people there. And it was like, our natural instinct when something really bad happens like that is to personalize it. Like, somehow we think about our connections to a place or this event, because that's what we do as humans. We like make it about us.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm sure she had been spending several days trying to get in touch with her niece. They were probably worried something happened to her, that, the communications in and out, just making sure they were okay. Like, they were like, that's her personal connection to the place.
Sure.
I'm sure she has a very sad feeling now about the town that burned down and all the people who lost their lives.
I think she had a sad feeling then about the town burning down.
And she just didn't compose this the right way. Like, what she's trying to say is, I love this place.
Absolutely.
I have property there. Like, my family was there. I've spent the last 3 days have been really horrible trying to make sure they're okay. But like, instead of constructing this as a professional writer or even somebody who's like really attuned to how this is going to play on social media, like, she adds in the like very unfortunate phrasing of like, who had just gone on a much needed vacation.
Right.
I mean, that was bad. Not good. But like, I don't know. People do that. They just, you make it about you, and then like later on, you're like, oh, how's that going to play? It's just.
Well, it's part of it. You mentioned the social media piece of this.
Yes.
And social media now basically exists to drag other people, particularly famous people.
Yes.
And on one hand, I do feel for Stevie Nicks in that 90% of this post was really about
how much she loves Maui.
Right. How much she loves Maui, how much she knows that village, how much it's inspired her. And it was heartfelt. But that 10%,
I know,
that you can't, especially if you're, I think, without trying to age Stevie Nicks, but she is not of the internet generation or even internet age adjacent.
Yeah.
I think you really don't get an idea of just how something like that is going to play. And I just thought I'd bring it up because I know she's your boo. And I like Stevie. I like Stevie Nicks.
And drag old ladies.
I'm not
social media.
Dragging old ladies.
She's like probably in her 70s or something. Like, sad.
Ooh, look who's calling 70-year-olds old now.
Sorry. I mean, like, she obviously did not think that went all the way through.
She did not. Well, I hope Stevie Nicks.
I do think she had spent probably like 72 hours trying to make sure her niece was okay.
I'm sure. Look,
and like just did not write that correctly.
No, she absolutely
very tone deaf. Very not good.
No,
but like nobody's screening her tweets or Instagram posts. They're not screening them.
You mentioned her being probably in her 70s or close to it. That's an age where if you're going to post, you really need a young person.
I know.
To take a look at it. Like maybe her niece, like something like that.
Yeah, I know.
You need someone to take a look.
I know. I agree.
But anyway, hopefully Stevie Nicks can recover.
I mean, the whole post really is about how much she loves the island. And is like sad that what happened there.
I do. I feel there's a part of me that feels bad, but I thought I'd get your take on it because I know you're
I
a
don't
Stevie
like
girl.
cancel culture. I know you guys are all into that. People are all into
me?
No, not you, but just everybody is.
She's not Stevie
cancel
Nicks,
culture.
She's not getting canceled. Come on.
You know who's getting canceled or
Who?
who's canceling himself?
Who's canceling
the U.S.
himself? Women's
soccer coach.
What's happening?
It's just it's I don't know. Does this qualify as breaking news in the middle of August? Yeah, I think it does.
Anything is breaking news in August.
Vlatko Andonovsky has handed in his resignation as U.S. women's national coach after their abject failure in the women's World Coach this year. You know what? I think this makes us a real soccer country now. You fail in the World Cup, you're out.
Okay.
Like that makes us a real like this. You know who failed in the World Cup this year? A couple teams didn't even qualify. Their coaches are out.
Out.
Like It doesn't matter if you're a great Hall of Fame coach. It doesn't matter if you're going to get a new job tomorrow. You fail in the World Cup, you're out.
Okay, I think this is interesting, actually, just in the sense that you mentioned now we're finally a soccer culture in America. There had been like a lot of online pressure and anger about Team USA, them coming up short, getting eliminated early, the coach and
the tactics.
His tactics, all that stuff. America has a reputation for not caring about soccer.
Correct.
Did this show, do you think, that we as a country actually care more, or is this just internet culture and we love to pile on?
No, this is what's happened. Hey, Pepe Montilla, do you have like a theme song? Do we have like a Michael Thompson theme song for you now?
I don't know.
Are you wearing a trucker shirt?
It's a Hall of Fame shirt from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
Is this Pepe's music?
Look at.
I like it. Oh, look at that. Okay.
Pepe is wearing a button-down short-sleeve Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shirt. It's very cool. On the sleeves it says Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah. Here.
Can
you hear this? You have a theme song.
It's mariachis.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I know. Thank you. Have you
That means you've made it.
Have you been here?
No, I've never even been to Cleveland.
Pepe, can you educate Mr. Kamenetsky about what happens to soccer coaches for countries that lose in the World Cup? What happened to the Brazilian coach this year when they didn't do well? Out. Gone. Like, even if you're a good coach, you tend to be gone whenever your team fails miserably. And what's happened to the U.S. women's team is, like, we've just been so much better than everybody else for so many years. Like, occasionally, like, the Dutch will be good, or I think the final in the Brandi Chastain year was, I think it was China. There's teams that will challenge us and give us a good game and stuff, but generally speaking, we have been the dominant team. And now the rest of the world has caught up. Like, they have soccer academies.
It's like
in
American
England.
basketball.
Yeah, the English Premier League teams, the men's teams, have started having player development for women's basketball players, for women's soccer players, like they do for the men. They find a 10-year-old who's great and say, come on and train with West Ham. Right? And now England just defeated Australia last night in the semifinals of the Women's World Cup, which probably is not drawing a big rating anymore. But England just defeated them. They're probably going to win it all because they have the best now league in the world.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that it's an honor for me to be working with two of the people that I admire the most. I've known you guys for a while, and I know how hard you work.
Thank
both,
you, Pepe.
Oh, God, thanks,
because
Pepe.
I've seen you in different places and press conference and all that, and it is true. Okay, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart.
We do show up.
No,
You're
but
not as much. You weren't.
But you guys
trade off now.
He used to.
He used to.
You used to work really hard.
Yeah.
No, he still works hard, but he works
from home.
Yeah, from home.
Yeah,
remote.
Like
working hard, but from home.
Like
remote.
Smoking windows, or how do they say? Smoking mirrors or something like that. But anyways, you were.
I thought you said smoking. I'm like, I gave that up a long time ago.
Then the second thing that I want to say, man, you went to Cancun.
Yeah. Outside Cancun, Playa del Carmen.
Yeah, well, it's just
flew
right
into
there.
Cancun.
Did you go all the way to Tulum?
Here's the thing with Tulum. Like, I've been to Tulum. I don't know all of the geography of Tulum. Like, is Chichen Itza, is that Tulum?
No.
The area? Okay.
Chichen Itza is in Yucatan.
Xel-Há is Tulum.
Xel-Há is on the road to Tulum.
Okay, well, then we were near it because we went to Chichen Itza, we went to Xel-Há, we went swimming in some cenotes, stuff like that. So we were in the general ballpark of Tulum, but I don't think we were in Tulum proper.
Tulum is at the end of the road. You go to Xel-Há, Akumal, Tulum, and then Chichen Itza is on the other side.
So we're sort of in places all surrounding Tulum. I have actually been to Tulum before, but it's probably about 10 years ago.
It's beautiful. Have you ever been, Ramona?
I have. I've been to Chichen Itza, not Tulum, but I went to we went to Cancun and then we drove to Chichen Itza.
Did you go see the Uxmal pyramid? The one that is like this?
Saw them all.
Uxmal.
I think so. It was in high school. It was a long time ago. I think so. It was cool.
But you remember, I mean, high school was, 10 years ago?
Oh, thank you very much.
It was so hot when we were there.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you go in that same lazy river? I went to that lazy river
in
place.
Shelha?
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's called.
It's called Shelha.
Yeah.
I used to go all the time. I don't go.
It's like a
anymore.
lazy river through the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not.
Oh no. This aquatic park, Shelha, is massive.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely massive. When you're in this lazy river, there are fish underneath you. There was an area where I swam with and fed manatees. Like they have a dolphin area. Like there's everything there.
You have a lot of guts. I wouldn't do it.
No. Manatees have no teeth.
No, I know, but I'm chicken. Okay,
yeah, me too. I wouldn't.
Manatees are the least intimidating. They're the least harmful creature maybe in the entire sea. No, they can't do anything to you.
I know a lot of humans that are not harmful until they are harmful.
Believe me when I say a manatee cannot hurt you.
Okay.
They actually, I learned this. Manatees, they're not predators to anybody because they're strictly vegetarians. They also have no enemies. Like they've managed to evolve.
How do they know that? Like how do the biologists
people
who
study this? They
okay.
say nobody messes with the manatees.
But do they speak manatee? Do they know
I'm
like
not
the
saying
social dynamics of manatees?
I'm not saying that there's no manatee that doesn't have like a grudge against some fish, somewhere like that. But they have.
You are saying that. You said they have no enemies.
They don't. Nobody is a predator that takes out a manatee.
This is like a Disney movie. You're talking about a Disney movie.
Well, we came and we were talking about the Women's World Cup, and then Andy's like, "You're gonna have to carry this one because I don't know anything about the soccer."
I don't know anything about the soccer.
I know about the soccer. I was like fired up about the soccer. The coach is out.
Well, but I think Spain against England is going to be a very good game, and the women's soccer, it's really good now compared to how it used to be.
Do you think we're so America focused though that now that it's Spain and England, people are just not going to watch? Or are you still watching and following?
Yeah, people are still watching more than they used to watch.
Oh wow!
Remember,
even when it's not our team.
Well,
the casuals are not watching anymore.
The casual one, but more and more people are loving soccer now.
So the U.S. coach did he deserve to get fired?
Totally, because from the very first game that I saw, I don't know if you were there, Funches. We were at this bar watching the game, and I said, "How come they're never attacking through the right side? They were always going through the left, and the midfield was they weren't playing good." Okay, so soccer is getting better and better now. The MLS with all the players that came from Spain, Messi and that. Messi's in the final.
Yeah, he just scores like 3 goals every game.
Yeah, Messi's in the final, and people want to see Messi, and they want to see soccer. And you guys are going to probably be covering soccer very soon.
Yeah. Messi's been amazing ever since very few people actually live up to the hype when they come over, right? Like by the time an international superstar comes and plays in the MLS, he's not good enough to really make a huge impact. Like it's fun. But Messi's actually still really good, and he's come in and they've scored 1 million goals ever since he got there.
Yeah, and then the fact that Messi had Busquets, who played with him in Barcelona, and Jordi Alba, who played with him in Barcelona, that helps,
All right, I got Funchy in my ear. Break. Got a break. But coming up, we can get more into what happens with soccer and the women's team moving forward. And also, Mookie Betts got the ultimate compliment recently. So we're going to get into that. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne, Pepe Mantilla. Pepe! In for the guys, 710 ESPN.
Afternoons on 710 ESPN with Sedano and Cap. The fun way to drive home. podcast.
Be sure to join 710 for our summer tradition at Hollywood Park Casino, the ultimate fantasy football draft party this Friday starting at 4 p.m. at HBC. Join Beto Duran, Kirk Morrison, DeMarco Farr, Marcus Grant, producer Lindsay Baseball, Corporate Greg, and Chris Morales live for a Party this Friday at 4 p.m. at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Eat, drink, draft. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne, Pepe Mantilla.
Pepe, in case you're wondering, we're playing all Madonna songs coming back from breaks because she's turning 65 today.
Wow, nice. I like Madonna.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Madonna song?
I would
Vogue?
say... Yeah.
Express Yourself?
Like a Virgin. I mean, I like that one. What do you want me to say?
It was the delivery. You know, he just kind of like looked at me and winked. It was like okay.
I seen her in concert several times. Yeah. She's good.
That was going to be my next question for you. You see everyone.
How
in
late
concert.
was she? When I went and saw her, she was like 2 hours late.
About an hour late.
Yeah, she's late.
But this is getting better now.
What?
Now the acts, when you go to see a concert, most of the time they're on time.
Yeah,
not
Madonna.
Ramona's experience.
No. Well, I don't know. It was like probably like 8 years ago or something. She came through here and played the Forum.
Yeah, I saw her at the Forum.
Yeah.
Too. When I saw her when she had the.
Yeah. The heart thing, the heart sign. Whatever it was.
Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. It was good. I mean, she was a good show, but it was just way too late for a Tuesday night, and there was no opener.
What? Okay.
All just sitting around on our hands.
What were you doing? Like, what did you do for 2.5 hours waiting for Madonna?
I remember we were mad.
Concerts have changed, okay? I went to see the Rolling Stones at the Forum way back, okay? Cheech and Chong opened for them.
Yeah.
Santana played after, and then the Rolling Stones.
Years ago, I think it was 81 or 80, something like that. Prince opened for the Stones. They handpicked him, and he got booed off stage.
Oh, I was there at the Coliseum.
He got booed off stage. Like,
they threw shoes at him.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd. This is before Prince was starting to break out, but it was before he really became Prince.
Still.
And he came out and he was performing like in a trench coat and bikini briefs, and the crowd was not having it.
1981, and it was George Thorogood, Jerry Giles.
Jay Giles Band.
And Prince and the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
That's one of the concerts that I really remember.
I mean, that's a bill. That's a hell of a bill right there.
Yeah, and the price was just
like $20.
Something like that.
Huh.
Something like that.
That would cost you now like $600, $700.
1981. We're almost catching up to 81 in Winning Time. We just watched episode 2. Are you watching that show?
Not yet. I want to wait and watch
binge it a little bit.
Thing.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing. It's kind of hard sometimes to watch it because I don't like the portrayal of Jerry West.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Neither does Jerry West.
I think it's a little better this year. He still comes across as kind of hot-headed and everything, but it's not quite as
Look, I can't speak
dehumanizing.
I can't speak for Jerry West in terms of everything he likes about it, doesn't like about it. And Jerry West is famously unhappy with blank. Jerry.
They're not giving him a lot of credit.
That's I was just about to say. If I had to guess at least one of the things Jerry West hates the most, he doesn't really seem to understand basketball that well on the show.
Yeah, like they portray him as like not wanting to draft Magic.
Right.
Okay. Then this season now they want him to trade Norm Nixon for David Thompson. I'm sure all these things happen, but he got a lot of other things really right.
That's what I was going to say. Like from Jerry's perspective, if you want to portray him as a hothead, whether accurate or not, and I'm sure
he
it's
was a hothead.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe not hothead in the exact ways they show on the show, but Jerry West was known to have a temper. Okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Jerry West is not going to like being portrayed as somebody who's kind of a basketball dolt.
Yeah, like like if you only show the things he got wrong, right? If you only show like he was super excited about this David Thompson thing, and then there's a scene in episode 2 where Jerry Buss essentially says, "Hey, the new CBA is going to pay these players a lot more. We're going to get a jump on that." And instead of paying Michael Cooper $35,000, we're going to pay him $33. Add a zero to that. And Jerry was like, "What are you talking about? $350,000? That's crazy." And Jerry Buss basically says that's going to look really smart in a year. Like we get ahead of this, and we'll actually be able to keep our key players. Whereas if we don't, and there's free agency that's coming, we're going to be in trouble. And it kind of just, okay, so this is like now 3 or 4 things that they're just showing Jerry West was wrong about.
Right. Or the like Jerry West doesn't see the big picture.
Yeah.
That, like it's too visionary for Jerry West. And I know Dr. Busk was very much a visionary in his own right.
Yeah.
But Jerry West, pretty good
the
basketball
architect
visionary
of
himself.
a lot of, yeah.
And so
Totally.
if I had to guess, that is something that bothers him about the show.
Yeah.
It is different, and when you get to know the person.
Yeah.
Jerry has been very nice to me all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen what he did. I've been with the team 31 years. Doctor was excellent. I mean, whenever I saw him, he stopped and he started talking about the Latino people and the audience and all that. So, when you see the portrait of this, then in your mind, it's a different story. You know what I mean? And maybe I agree with you. Maybe he did something wrong, but I mean, he did a lot of things right.
Right. You can't just show the calls that he made that were not good.
Okay, we were talking before about some of the discrepancies in terms of the timeline of when Jeannie Buss started really contributing to the team. Because, obviously Jeannie has played a big role in the organization well before she became the ultimate shot caller. But they've accelerated some of this to when she was like 17 or 18 making suggestions. From Jerry West's perspective, it's like, look, Jeannie Buss is a high schooler.
Yeah.
Looks like she can see the big picture more than me.
Yeah.
I can see where that would rightly upset Jerry West.
Yeah, of course. And he gets a lot right, and he really understands basketball more than anybody, and he related to players. Like, he did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that they're kind of giving a lot of the player coach or management interactions to Dr. Buss, but also to Paul Westhead and Pat Riley. And I think Jerry West did a lot more there.
I totally agree with you. But I'm very interested in what you're going to say about Mookie.
Okay, well, you know what? That Pepe is coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne, Pepe Mantilla in for the guys. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Day, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwich between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
Want to win a chance to play golf with John Ireland and Corporate Greg? Terranea Resort and ESPN LA are giving away a round of golf at the links at Terranea and lunch with Ireland, and Greg. All you have to do is post a video of your golf swing on Instagram or Twitter and tag at ESPN Los Angeles. Mason and Ireland will review the best swings, and you could be playing golf with Ireland and Corporate Greg at the links at Terranea.
Is Greg good?
I don't know. Is Corporate Greg good at golf? Anyone know?
I don't know
either.
He doesn't talk about golfing all that much.
I have no
Like
idea.
Chris, I know golfs.
Chris plays.
Ireland definitely plays.
Maybe the best part is having lunch
Travis
with
is really good.
him. Right? Maybe the best part is having lunch with him.
There,
here he
there
is.
he
Yeah,
is.
he can
Here
tell
he
you.
There
is.
you go. See?
I mean, I've seen the softball swing. It's okay.
Easy. All right.
Are you good at golf?
Good is a relative term.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I can shoot somewhere between 90 to 100 when I usually right around 100.
Okay, so you're solid enough.
I'm fine.
I mean,
Like,
it's not like I could.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't play golf at all.
You're not going to embarrass yourself.
No, I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm going to have a great tee shot. I'm going to not be able to chip. I'll 3-putt, and I'll probably bogey.
All right.
And
That's all right.
You're good.
I'm okay. I'm good enough. I keep pace. Like I'm never.
Yeah,
gonna,
like
I'm never
they're
gonna
not
hold
waiting for you.
up.
Like, okay, you know what? You want
No,
to just
like, oh
pick
my
your ball
God,
up
is
this
he-
time, you know?
Yeah, a lot
Greg
of people. A lot
again,
of people
jeez.
that talk about that. It's like the people that say, "I never win the lotto because I never buy a ticket."
Yeah.
It's the same. People that say, "Oh no, he's not good." They never play golf.
Right.
But you play golf. I think you're good.
Yeah, no. So I played with my uncle a couple weeks ago, and I shot a 94.
Can I just say
That was pretty good.
I feel like golf is a really long day.
It's a great day.
I think
It
you.
is a
long.
great day.
I think you'll be good.
No, I'm not. I hate ground balls. Like every time I go to the driving range, I'm like, oh, this is why I don't do this.
It's you just lift your head up. That's all it's.
I don't know. It's just and it's also too long. Like the other day, I went hiking with my friend, and we go out and we met at 9:30 and went for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, this is great. Thanks. See you later. That was a great little hour and a half. Like why?
But
The
this
golf is like
4
5 hours,
Yeah,
6
4 or
hours.
5. It depends. If it's slow, it can be that long. But
It's a long time
it's a
riding
great
around.
Day. Yeah,
No, but
you're-
there's also the driving to the course. There's driving back to the course. Like,
Do you have a golf cart or do you walk the whole thing?
Yeah, well, it depends on the course. But like when I go to Black Gold with Chris and Tommy, we have a golf cart and we drive around. And you have a couple cervezas, you have a couple drinks, and you just kind of talk
And you
have a
talk
good
and all
time.
that.
Yeah.
Do you talk about real stuff, like real manly stuff? or is
We're
it
talking
just-
about all the manly stuff. It's constantly
So,
just
Ramona,
testosterone.
How long was a softball game when you play softball?
like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. That's
Really?
it.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Baseball games are like it's TV.
Yeah, hour and a half,
too,
2
yeah.
hours, something like that.
Well, 2 hours, So
I think I don't remember very many that were that long.
and you have 2 kids. You should have a lot of patience.
Right?
I don't.
And then you get to
it's
walk
just a long
away?
day. I want to leave.
No.
People would ask me, like, when I first came back from college, they would go, come play on our softball team. And then we're going to go to these tournaments. We're going to go to tournament Big Bear or tournament wherever. I'm like, the absolute last thing in the world I want to do is play 7 softball games in one day. Like, no, let's play one game and be done.
You wouldn't play a back-to-back game.
I have. I don't like it. I don't
No?
need to. It's all good. I played plenty of softball. I don't want to be at the field all day, just like sitting there and be like, what time's our next game? Oh, okay, I'll take a little rest under this tree here and eat a dog. Like, I mean, let's go home.
Oh, it's so nice.
Let's take
Pepe,
a
do you
shower.
golf?
Let's watch some football.
No, but
you don't golf?
I wish I could because I think it's fun because you're going to be talking to the other people. And,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a social. It's a
Yeah.
social event.
Yeah.
You're
Social
right before
event.
you take your tee shot, you're having conversation about something. If you're in the cart with somebody, you're having that conversation.
That's important to me.
Yeah,
Social
this
life.
is where the deals get done, Momo.
I know about the golf club deals. I know about all that.
Well, you could be a part of it.
Momo, if you
Too
have
long
to
a
take
day.
Maybe if you played more golf, they would have gotten you headphones.
if you have to take a flight
She
from
gets
here
headphones.
to Abu Dhabi, what do you do?
It's-
Non-stop.
Well, yeah, I enjoy that. It's like I'm on the flight. I'm watching some movies. I take a nap.
It's a long flight.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
It is a very long flight.
Yeah, I don't go that far anymore.
Much
I'm
longer
going
than
to
golf.
DC like on Sunday because I have to do a story, and it's
5
5 hours. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Same as being on a golf course.
Yeah, but I
for
can
5
be
hours,
productive for 5 hours. I can take a nap. I can watch a movie. I can text people. I can write things.
You can do all those same things. On
You
the
mean
golf
to
course?
tell me that it's
You
not
can text
productive to talk to Greg or John Ireland and change ideas?
Do
and
this
all that?
all day long. We've already been here for like 3.5 hours. It's a lot of talking.
No, from Ramona's perspective,
let's keep it moving. Let's
the
go.
opportunity to talk with Greg or John
can happen
Morales,
anytime.
no offense.
No, it's fine.
It's not a thrill.
No. Well, see, that I'm going to take offense to because I do think it's a thrill. We are a very exciting people that have a lot to say about a lot of things.
No, but I mean, just the opportunity to do it is not really a thrill.
So you know how there's like activities where the whole point of the activity is to kill time and be away from your family, like get away. That feels like what golf is. Like when I go, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to my yoga class at 10, and it's going to be until 11:30, and then I'll be home by noon.
That's me for the grocery store.
I'll
go.
But that's a manageable 2 hours. I'm not missing too much.
2 hours at the grocery store?
No. The yoga class.
What if I could?
I drive there. It takes a half hour to get, 20 minutes to get there. It's an hour and 15-minute class, hour and 30.
Okay.
Then I drive back and I'm home, and it's like, hi, mommy's back. Golf is like, bye, I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, I mean, 4 or 5 hours, with a little bit of the driving too. Yeah, you got a few hours in there.
When you establish a conversation with somebody, you can find out something about the life of that person.
Yeah, I can do that in an hour. I can get a lot out in an hour.
See, Pepe gives the probing questions. Really gets deep and starts to learn who we are.
I think I can get the same amount of information in 20 minutes.
No.
You can.
Andy
can.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further. I feel like I know everything about you or Ireland or
that
you
I need
to
you
know.
want to. That
yeah,
you want to.
I don't need to know anymore.
See, I don't think you know quite enough.
No, but I know enough.
You know what you want. You know the surface.
So I know enough for me.
Pepe wants to get deep.
In other words, you don't care.
Our fears.
That's a more succinct way of putting it, Pepe.
No, I wouldn't go that far. He just cares a little. Yeah,
I mean, Bergman's my friend.
Yeah.
I care
Yes.
enough. I care enough to know about him to maintain a friendship.
Yeah, it's good.
Exactly.
Friendship's fine.
Yeah, I'm good with our friendship.
Exactly.
I think it's a good friendship.
But what kind of friendship are you talking about?
I mean, you're not exactly naming your firstborn kid after him.
No.
I'm going to help you pay off your teeth.
Oh, this is a Mookie thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a Mookie thing. So Mookie Betts had one hell of a compliment that he talked about on social media on Tuesday.
Back a couple weeks ago, I was on deck and this guy started talking to me. He said, Mookie, if you hit a home run, I'll name my daughter her middle name Mookie.
Oh, middle name.
And I heard this and I laughed, and he said he was serious. And so I turned around and told him, nah, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. And he said, no, I'm going to do it. I said, your wife wouldn't like that, bro. Don't do that. He said, no, I'm going to tell her. So I think he may have been on the phone with her. So then that at bat is when I hit, I think, the first home run I've hit in my career. A couple weeks later, I see on Twitter the birth certificate for Francesca Mookie Mancuso. Shout out to you, Giuseppe. I can't wait to meet Francesca. And that's going to be my girl.
That's awesome.
I remember when my daughter was born, it was 2011, and that's when I was covering the Lakers like day in, day out basis, still Kobe's team. And, a lot of my work, if you're covering the Lakers, you are covering Kobe, really. You're really covering Kobe more than you're covering the Lakers in a lot of way.
Yeah.
So my wife all the time would hear me talking about Kobe in some form or fashion. And I remember my wife was like, if this child's first word is Kobe, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder you.
Was it?
No, it was not. It was Mama.
So I'm at that stage with Jacob right now where he's babbling up a storm. And I'm like totally coaching. I'm like, Mama, Mama, you're going to say Mama. Harder. And it's harder. And he keeps saying Dada. And I'm like, come on. I did all the work. I did so much work.
co-beat.
So now I'm trying to I should give this one to Nev, but I just can't. I did all the work, so I'm trying to make it Dan because that's my older son's name. It'd be cool if his first words were his brother's name.
That would be sweet.
That'd be cool.
Would be really, really.
But it's
sweet.
What the heck? Why is Dada so much easier than Mama?
It's just the way that you use your mouth. The D is easier to say than the M because you have to put your lips together for the M. And
the D
Pepe is showing me the llama.
The what?
The D is easier.
The D is easier. I know.
I love Pepe showing me the llama. Do you hear this llama story?
No,
Pepe's
llama?
You don't know the llama story?
No.
Tell the story.
That's why you have conversation with your friends to find out.
Pepe's llama is a Twitter name now because of this llama.
I went to the Pacific Amphitheater in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
To see a concert. I even forgot who the concert was. But anyways, it was Phoenix, the group Phoenix. And then my girlfriend said, "There's a llama in the back over there." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I wasn't paying attention. Finally, I turn around and she takes a picture, and there was a llama there.
And there's a llama in the back of the picture. So where this all kind of comes full circle is last week Pepe was on with Michael and Mason and I.
Yeah. And what did you do with the llama? Did you just go say hi? Did you take him home or what?
Took a picture.
Took a picture. Okay.
Ramona, you've been to 50 concerts, 100 concerts? How many concerts?
Not that many. 50. Okay.
Have you ever seen a llama?
No.
How about you?
Never seen a llama in a concert.
I've never seen a llama, and I've been to a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was the fair, and probably the llama escaped, and the llama was watching the concert. And
you mean
fun.
the llama just sauntered up? It wasn't somebody's llama.
No, the llama was there. I mean, out of the blue, and I've been to that place.
The llama's I like this band.
Did the llama have a ticket?
Did
the llama have a ticket, to the best of your knowledge?
I don't know. But I tell you one thing: the lights were all over the place. I said, when the lights hit the llama is gonna go crazy. Yeah, the llama was cool, man.
Yeah. You know what? That llama came from Madonna's house.
Probably.
Did you hear the 2 o'clock call of the day?
No, I missed the 2 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, Greg! This will be the 2 o'clock call of the day that every other 2 o'clock call of the day is going to be judged.
Oh, did you cut it up? Do we have it? Can I hear it?
Great.
It was a great call.
All right, get it for me later, Brian.
All right, I'll give you the synopsis.
Hold on one second. Just the llama, to end the llama story.
We're back to the llama.
I just want to explain to you why Pepe's llama is such a big deal now. Because he left after the show with Mason in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he was in the lobby and just kind of hanging out. And then Sedano and Cap started with Morales here, and he walked back in just to show a picture of the llama to people and went back on air.
Because I totally forgot about the llama, and then I remember I said,
the llama.
Because to me, seeing a llama in a concert is a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where the Pepe's llama came from.
It is.
But what is
It is a big deal.
It is
Ramona,
a big deal.
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So what was the 2 o'clock call? The synopsis of the 2 o'clock call of the day.
Dude called in and said, well, first of all, he had some take on the Dodgers. He had some take on the Lakers. And then item number 3 of his...
Casually. He's like
just
casually dropping this.
Was that he snuck into Madonna's post-Oscar party. Because we've been talking about Madonna all day. And they had a show where he was going to part of what they do is that they sneak into famous people's houses or they sneak into places they're not supposed to be. And they're filming some stuff. And he legitimately got thrown out of this post-Oscar party at 3 a.m. because he had impersonated the cast of Moonlight, right?
He impersonated the cast of Moonlight?
Yeah, when they said, "Are you on the list?"
Yeah,
and they said, "Oh, we're the cast of Moonlight."
Thank you, Brian.
And
he's not listening.
I know he's totally not listening. He's just nodding his head.
He's your friend.
He's
your friend.
He is my friend. But
and they kicked him out, and he was really. This
I don't need to
wasn't
listen.
just,
I know the story.
Yeah. But he was describing real things that happened at Madonna's party. She had
Were they real
dancers
in his head or real?
No,
I think real. I don't know. We can't really verify this.
Look,
but they had dancers
that
hanging from the ceiling, naked dancers hanging from the ceiling, serving appetizers and little mini champagne bottles.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, and he was just walking through, and he was they were supposed to stay really still, so you just bump into these people. You're oh, hey, didn't know you were alive. Yeah, no, never saw Madonna. She was in
She was in the VIP room of her own house.
But it started because they were at the Vanity Fair party.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we're going to a party at Madonna's house. Do you want to come? And then so they went. So this is a great call.
Sounds like a great call.
This was a great call.
Yeah.
We kept him on the entire segment.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
We should cut up a little bit of that, Brian, and we can play it back for the guys next week.
All right. Coming up, Game of Games, Brian's game.
Oh, no.
Coming up next, Pepe, you playing?
Yes, of course.
All right, there you go. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona
Is your
Shelburne,
llama
Pepe
playing?
Mattia, the llama. Maybe the llama shows up. 710 ESPN.
Hun,
All right, I got the game for you guys today.
Let's do it.
So, 4 birthdays today here on August 16th. Angela Bassett, Madonna, Steve Carell, and James Cameron.
All right.
So I'll give you a little bit of trivia, and you're going to have to guess which one of those 4 had this happen.
Okay, so Steve Carell, James Cameron,
Angela
Bassett,
and Madonna.
All right. I got to write this down.
Yeah, me too.
So we got 2 men, 2 women. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1. This person suffers from brontophobia, the fear of thunder and lightning.
Give us the choices again.
Angela Bassett, Madonna, Steve Carell, or James Cameron?
James
Pepe.
Cameron. Okay.
Angela Bassett.
Well, we're all going to guess.
Yeah,
we're all guessing it.
Oh, okay.
But that's your guess.
Yeah.
Fear of thunder and lightning. Okay. Go ahead, Andy.
I'll say Steve Carell.
I'm going to go James Cameron.
I'll say Madonna.
It's Funches, actually Madonna.
Oh,
Fear of
wow.
thunder and
Okay.
lightning. This person owns a general store with their partner.
General store with their partner.
A small general store in a small town.
All right. Andy, you go first.
I'm also going to say Steve Carell again.
Okay. Pepe.
Steve Carell.
I am going to say Angela Bassett. And Funchy.
Let's say James Cameron.
Steve Carell.
Yeah. Sounds like something
All right.
he would do.
Yeah.
Who's keeping score, by the way?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, number 3. This person is an ambassador of UNICEF, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund.
Okay. I'll go first on this one. I will say Madonna. Funchy.
I will say Angela Bassett.
Andy.
I'm also going to say Angela Bassett.
And Pepe.
Angela Bassett.
This one is Angela Bassett.
Yeah. All right. I'm yet to scratch. All right. Number 4.
Number 4. This person has won 9 Razzies, which is a parody award show, including one for Best Picture, one for Worst Picture and Worst Remake.
All right. Funches, you're up first.
All right. So Best Picture and Worst Remake, right?
Worst
Correct.
remake,
Yes.
worst picture.
Okay. Who on this list did a remake? I will say. Can't think about it. I'll say Steve Carell.
All right. Andy.
Madonna.
Madonna.
And I'm going to say James Cameron.
Andy and Pepe is Madonna.
I knew it. Oh,
Wow.
I
It was
knew
for
that.
Swept Away.
yeah,
was the
Razzie,
remake.
the
I
Razzie,
knew that
right?
one. I
Swept
knew that.
Away was the remake.
So number 5 here. This person lost an Academy Award to their ex in 2010.
Ooh.
I'm
That's
gonna-
intense.
I'm going to be last, okay?
Okay.
Oh, it
Because I
sounds
know
like he
the
knows
answer.
it. Okay.
I know the answer as well.
Okay. So do I have to go first?
Sure.
I will also say James Cameron.
I'll say James Cameron.
It is James Cameron.
It is James Cameron.
Okay.
I
It is
finally got
James
one.
Cameron.
Yay. All
Yeah,
right.
that
Catherine
was-
Bigelow.
You guys want a score
Yes.
count?
Yeah, score count.
Okay. Pepe is winning with 4. Andy and I are tied at 3. Ramona has 1.
On the board.
Nice. All right.
Don't call it a comeback. Let's go.
Number 6. This person has been nominated for 120 overall awards.
Wow.
120 overall
Okay.
awards.
Andy Kamenetsky's up first.
Madonna.
Pepe.
Madonna.
I will say Angela Bassett.
I will say James Cameron.
Ooh, this is going to be Steve Carell.
Oh, wow.
Oh, everyone got it.
None of us got it.
Nobody
Okay.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
nominated for 120 overall awards and has 33 total wins.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, we're going all the way back to like high
You
school.
get
or something.
nominated for it.
Student body
7th grade.
president.
Best actor.
All right, what do you
Number
got?
Best
7.
student in 2nd grade.
My child is an honor student.
This person attended Yale University.
This is Pepe.
James Cameron.
I will say Angela Bassett. Funches
I know that's not Madonna, so I will say Steve Carell.
and Andy.
Angela Bassett.
Andy and Momo on this one is Angela Bassett.
Woohoo!
Hey.
She also
Yale
met her-
Drama School's
Yale
prepared.
Drama School,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
So I got 2 more for you.
I can't win, but I can make it respectable.
This person has been a vegetarian since the age of 15.
Since the age of 15. All right. This is Pepe first.
Madonna.
Vegetarian since 15. I am also going to say Madonna. Funches.
I am going to say Madonna.
And AK.
James Cameron.
This was Madonna.
Oh,
there you go.
All right, what's the
James
score?
Cameron is now currently a vegetarian.
Wow.
Okay, that's
yes. Yeah, there we go.
All right, what's the score? Funchy.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4. I got 4. I got 4. Pepe has 4. Andy has 4. Ramona has 2.
I have 3. I just got the last one.
3.
Ooh.
Thank you.
All right, getting closer.
Spicy.
Okay.
All right, last one for you guys. This person once told a Hollywood reporter that the worst thing that happened to them was getting hit with a hockey puck at the age of 12 that rendered them unconscious.
All right. I will go first. I'll say Steve Carell. Funchy.
James Cameron.
Andy.
I'm also going to say Steve Carell.
And Pepe.
Carell.
Yep, Steve Carell.
All right.
What do we got?
That means there's a tie between Andy and Pepe for the tiebreaker.
Andy and Pepe both have 5.
Okay, I got a tiebreaker for you guys. We're going to be closest to the number. Doesn't matter if you go over.
I don't get to participate.
Do we have to write it down?
I did make it close.
Sure. You want to write it down? Yeah, go ahead and write it down.
Write it down.
Hold on for a second.
Here. You can use this blue marker.
Go ahead.
Good, Bri.
All right. So how many top 10 hits has Madonna had on the Billboard Hot 100?
Top 10 hits from
Top
Madonna.
10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 in her career.
Top 10?
Top 10.
Yeah, not number 1. Top 10. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
27.
Pepe says 29.
Ooh.
This is going to be Pepe. She had 38.
Oh! Nicely done, Pepe Mantilla.
Very good.
That was pretty close, huh?
That was close.
Wow.
A good showdown.
That's a good game. I like that.
Yeah, very good.
Beto's walking in, walking out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Back when I get home, I'll sit around thinking about it. Okay. Sorry. Song lyrics. What's going on? Hey, who's here from the afternoon show?
Well, let's find out. Do the super stager. Let's figure out who's here.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Oh, there he is from the top deck.
There he is. Scott Kaplan joining us. Beto Duran joining us. Andy Kamenetsky, Ramona Shelburne, Pepe Mantilla.
Everybody's
still
here.
This is a full house.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to be occupying all 5 mics.
Yeah. Can we do that in this studio?
You do whatever you
Let me
want.
make
It's
that
ESPN LA. They can go multi-microphone.
Well, do you know that? You know what? I pulled a Diva card yesterday.
Only?
He complained about the headphones, and Greg Bergman is on it. Like, we're getting new headphones.
No. You're getting new headphones.
No. Like the whole stash over there is going to get upgraded.
The whole box.
Yeah, there's gonna be a box there, and there's gonna be Ramona headphones.
I mean,
It should be that way. You have your own IFB molded to your own ear, right? You don't?
I was supposed to do that a long time ago, and I never got back to them. Yeah.
Well, you deserve the best, Momo.
Thank you.
You know, you're
Thanks,
a
Beto.
Hall of Famer. You're a Hall of Famer here.
Yeah. Even
City section.
Even Bob
Southern
Dylan.
California Jewish Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Even Bob Dylan has a song. Ramona.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that song.
And
Thank
Sublime. They got one too.
So did
what's
Kaplan
going on,
just
guys?
take off?
Where'd he go? He was here.
Don't worry about him, man. What's up, Kamenetsky?
How you doing?
Is your kid here?
My kid is here.
Is that which one is that?
My only one?
Oh, you only got one?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah. Only one.
Your wife?
Only one that I-
Your wife was from Texas?
She was the first to say we are one and done. We are
only
one
one.
and done.
So how many does your brother have?
He has 3.
Oh, wow.
You have 2?
Yeah, two. I have a boy and a girl. That
All
works.
right.
Yeah, she's here actually. She's in one of the offices.
I
back
heard
there,
there was somebody back there on the YouTube component. So I was like, "Who's this kid?"
watching my show.
Yeah.
Beto, did you hear you caused quite controversy yesterday?
All right, so I wasn't able to listen to the station yesterday, and then I didn't listen to the podcast today.
But you heard about it.
Yeah. So yesterday I was supposed to work.
Yeah.
Mason, Ireland. But
I know. I got the last minute call. Thanks.
Yeah. What happened was I worked the boxing event yesterday, and they changed my call time from 5 to 2. I was like, oh.
That happens.
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to. But yeah, I was there, and they pay a lot, so I'm going there. Yeah. And I was driving up, and I heard you guys talking about it, and then something about Funches when invited. And I'm like, yeah, why would I invite Funch? He goes nowhere. Funch stays home, so I'm not going to invite him anywhere.
He's right about that.
Yeah, see? So whatever. So I heard that, and then I went to work, and then I actually was a professional, and I didn't really check on my social media. I tweeted one thing about work friends versus corporate friends.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then after that, I get home last night, I'm like, wow, I thought I did something bad because I had a lot of mentions. And
yeah, you were.
And I'm like, this is what you're complaining about? I'm glad I gave you guys content. Not you, Morales. Yeah. I'm glad I gave him content. But yeah.
This blew up, Beto. This has become controversial at this station.
Okay. but if you know me, you know how I am.
But you're a professional.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Oh, professional?
Yeah.
About
your work.
Oh, about the work. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
But as far as like a friend, a nice person, I'm not the nicest. I don't have that many friends. But because everybody that knows me,
you're gonna make me cry, Beto.
Oh, Pepe, you and I, we have a different relationship. We know other stuff about our families and everything else. You're familia.
Was Pepe at the party?
No, he lives too far.
Okay.
I didn't even know about the party.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have gone.
Yeah.
But no,
I wasn't invited.
Some worlds you don't need to mix. This is why my policy of never going to Christmas parties that are working related.
There is a whole thing.
You want to keep differences. And also,
I don't agree with that.
Oh, because Pepe, everybody likes you. Not everybody likes me because I piss them off. Because I know how I get, especially when I'm drinking. Man, keep me away. But the thing is, you know how I feel with you. Yeah, this guy's a
This is just an entrance.
Cappy's walking in with like 7 bags.
He's moving.
He's got a sweatshirt on. He's got a fanny pack.
He's a mess. Don't worry about him. But yes,
he's got a hood and a hat.
I mean, how cold was it in South LA?
It's only 91.
Don't tell me that you have a belt and suspenders.
Anyways,
I mean, he's unpacking. He's taking out phones.
No, Beto, you are a nice person.
No, Pepe, I'm nice to you. I'm not really nice.
I understand what you're saying. So here's the thing. I'm at the preschool stage of kiddom. And like when you plan a party, you have to invite the whole class. Because if you don't invite the whole class, then people get upset. But then now it's getting complicated because he's been in different, 3 different classes. So do I invite the class from last year too?
And now you got
just
60
the ones, or just the ones that we liked from last year,
how
right?
about this one? Now you got the T-ball parents with the school people.
Yeah.
And there's only one person paying the bill. Nev Dog is not going to spend all the money.
In that sense, I agree with you. In that sense, I agree with you.
Because I know he's listening. It's my boy Nev.
I know he is. You were really, he's going to love you for that.
Oh, that's my guy. He's still a food reviewer?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. We'll keep him there.
I was there. Scott Kaplan, how you doing?
Hi, how are you guys?
Thanks for joining us.
The reason I'm wearing this sweatshirt, I know it's very hot outside.
I know. It's like 100 degrees.
Brutal outside. And worse than the heat outside is the humidity in the parking garage.
Oh, my.
Here at LA Live.
It's brutal.
I don't know if that's humidity.
Sauna.
No. Well, I mean, weed smoke
Wait
does
you go
create
down
some
there.
heat.
You go down there, you're going to get smacked.
From your car to the elevator, I'm like, what was that golfer's name a couple days ago? Everybody's giving him a hard time. He's wearing those khaki pants, and he's got the swamp. You know that guy?
Swamp pants.
But okay.
You know
basically, he's wearing khaki, and he was all wet.
Yeah. I'm wearing jeans, and I'm worried that my jeans are going to turn dark blue.
You're schwitzing.
In a place where I don't want them to be. Right.
It's a sauna down there.
It's brutal down there.
So
what's going on?
And that's the
Just
reason
a parking lot. It's 90 degrees outside.
A lot of hot boxing.
Yeah.
No, the reason I'm wearing the hoodie is because today, Beto and I have an announcement to make about something that's going on with us, and we're like this close to like taking things to a new level.
Oh wow!
But there's one thing that could be holding it all up, and underneath this hoodie is a message.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
You put some thought. You know what? You had a long drive.
Yeah.
Where was that in our show meeting right now?
Where was that in our show meeting?
Was I there when you talked about this?
I didn't talk about this.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what you were talking about, not anymore.
Yeah.
Man, see,
it's a surprise.
Wow, this is like a good tease. I'm going to have to tune in.
There's something exciting about to happen to you.
Yeah, but if it includes me, I don't know if I want to be involved.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, maybe he's going to invite you. I don't know. Maybe
I'm not going.
On a trip.
It's too late. You're involved. You're in.
Right.
There's no way Cappy's inviting me on a trip, Pepe. That requires money. I'm not going anywhere.
And I'm headed on a trip tomorrow morning, which, by the way, speaking of like the humidity in the parking garage, it's okay. I'm headed to New Orleans tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
To drop off my daughter back at school.
New Orleans in August.
Yeah, I've met my favorite Kaplan. Jaden Kaplan is here.
This is take your daughter to work day.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Is your daughter here too?
What university?
This whole time she's been here?
All right, cool.
I just haven't left the studio.
One smart one.
Where has she been the whole time?
She's been in one of the offices.
She's programming.
You'll meet her. I'll introduce
She's
you.
writing promos right
You
now.
haven't seen her since she was little.
I know. I feel like kind of a jerk. Like,
Did you
she's
lock
been here
your
the whole
daughter?
show?
Oh, you
Sorry.
didn't get invited to the party?
No. This is what my kid's doing right now.
Andy, did you lock your daughter in the office?
No, she locked herself in the office.
She did?
She's at that age now where she wants to always be in the room with the door closed. She's preteen.
Hey, would you ask her
she's smart,
if
too.
I should ask her. I didn't go down there because that's usually where I office. That office.
Where I office.
Right. And I actually refer to that as my office.
Like the conference room?
No, the one that's closest to the conference room.
Okay.
That there's nothing in there.
The often empty office.
In
next to
fact,
the
I
conference
introduced
room.
somebody last week came in and I was like, "Oh, this
No,
is my
that's
office."
Ireland's office.
Well, it's my office when I'm in it, at least the way I think of it. And I just wonder.
I get it.
I wonder if your daughter found my AirPods. I haven't looked to see if
Oh,
they're
my
in there.
God. Just get some new ones.
No,
It's
no,
like the cost
Ramona,
of doing business.
Ramona, I've lost a bunch of stuff recently. I'll tell you what I've lost.
Yeah.
Sunglasses,
Yeah.
passport.
Oh. Jeez. I know that one.
Wallet.
Ooh.
And AirPods. Now, the good news is this. Passport showed up.
Just found it. Yeah.
Found
Great.
it. Wallet, not really lost. Little bit of an exaggeration. Left it in the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Sunglasses, found them when I was putting something in a bag. Oh, forgot. Put them in the side compartment. Found them. I'm 3 for 4. The only thing I haven't been able to find are my AirPods. I think.
But why do you walk around
wait.
with that big
Hold on.
pouch, though?
I can be pretty good at this, okay?
Okay, all right.
Tell me where you think they are.
Oh,
man.
Talk to like a 4th grader or a 4-year-old.
No, I can. I'm gonna connect with you.
I feel like. Thank you. I feel like my daughter called me, and my phone doesn't actually work. Like I can't put the earpiece up and have it work. It doesn't work.
Can I see your phone with the Find My iPhone thing?
You can.
And you're not going to play the sound. But it can still kind of geo-find them.
Well, but they can't connect. The phone and the iPad, the AirPods.
But it'll
can't
still
connect.
say like 27 days ago.
Stop using common sense, Ramona.
Give me the phone.
You're dealing with
hold on.
Kaplan.
Give me,
right now.
I'm giving it to you. Here you go. Here you go.
You're going to make him lose his mind.
Mama, and don't swipe too much, though.
There's
Mama
a lot of things
Ramona
connected.
is in the mix
AirPods
right now.
Pro?
They're mine. Down at the bottom, Scott's AirPods.
Okay.
My phone calls me
No
Scott.
location found.
Everybody else calls me Cappy. By the way, my 19-year-old daughter's with me today. First time being here. She's like, who are they talking to when they call that guy Cappy? Who's that?
Yeah. Oh, I had a good conversation with her. She's really smart.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's good.
She
told me I'm really smart.
That's how you knew, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ramona. So the AirPods can't
Saying
connect.
no location found.
Yeah, can't connect because they're dead. They're
Yeah.
probably in the room with Andy's daughter.
There's got to be like a history
In
here.
her pocket.
I mean, when I go get my daughter, when
Yeah.
the show's done, would you like me to look in there?
Would you
No,
please?
just
Yeah, I'll
just
look.
leave, bro.
No,
just
I'll look.
leave.
I'll do Cappy a solid. I'll look.
Yeah, that's nice. See, that's being a good friend.
Work friend. Work friend.
Work friend. Work friend.
Being a nice work friend.
Hey,
good
more
enough-
people need to
We
draw
are
that
good
line.
enough work friends that I'll look for your AirPods.
Thank you. I think they could be in there. Now, I think, Ramona, this is what I think happened. I think on Sunday, my daughter called me, and I said, hold on, because I can't use my phone to my ear. So I said, let me get my AirPods. So I took them out. I put them in my ears. I used them, and I haven't seen them since. That's what I think happened.
Where were you?
I was in a restaurant somewhere. I've looked in every car, too. My son's car, my
I've
daughter's
lost
car,
my
my
right
car.
earbud.
Yeah.
But the left one's still with me.
Oh, it is.
And I don't know where the right one is.
Okay.
But I can function with just one.
Yeah, me too. I can
Yeah.
function. If I
This
could
is why I
just
got
get
the
I'm
cord,
hanging
bro. That's why
on.
I got the cord still. I'm
Yeah.
hanging on with
If I
the
could
cord.
just hang with one. If I could just
I
get
know where
one
they're at.
earbud. I'm so desperate. Now I'm using wired earbuds.
They have a sale in Costco for those.
Oh, really?
Oh, but
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to get inside Costco.
How much?
I don't remember, but they're not that expensive.
Pepe, why do you have a llama?
What do I have? A what?
A llama.
You don't know about the
No, I
llama?
do know, but why do you create that account?
I didn't create that
Oh,
account.
it's not you?
Somebody created.
Okay,
that account.
all right. Because if you have a burner account as Pepe Llama, that's pretty good, right there.
No,
I like that.
I didn't. No,
It means you've made it.
That's
No,
not you.
Somebody else.
Oh,
did
we
it.
all thought it was you.
No,
Yeah,
somebody
no,
else.
because
did
the
it.
llama's bilingual.
I wish.
Wait, in Pepe's defense, it couldn't have been him because it was created like right after he left, and he would have been driving home.
That's right. See?
I saw the picture of the llama. It's real. I believe
Yeah,
it.
see?
Cappy, we got a problem.
That llama's a real one.
Cappy, we got
It
a
is
real
a real
problem.
one.
Your daughter is sitting next to Laura looking
Yeah.
at the board and
Oh, I
being
know.
all enthralled with the
Right.
lights and thinking about getting
Yeah.
to radio.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Do not
She's
do it.
smart. Don't
Right.
let her do this.
Don't do that. Do not get into
Get away
this.
from
You
that.
better Excuse watch me? what you say.
Leave her
Yes.
alone, Laura.
Uh-huh. Uh, Oh, uh-huh.
Uh,
Uh,
I'm into finding him, and I don't know how to find him.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really is.
Beto and Cappy coming up next. Later.